YouTube is weird. Oh, there I am. Why can I hear myself? No, why can I hear myself? That's weird. That's weirder. Get off that. There we go. Hold on. What? Why can I hear myself? Oh, I've got my page open. Oh, I'm an idiot. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. It's all good. I can hear myself doubling back. Oh no. So what apparently is a thing here, I did not know this. There was a pop-up, me be stupid. Not the stream, me be dumb. Is that there apparently is a restriction for OBS that like doubles back to make sure you want to go live. So like you hit start streaming, but then you also have to click a go live button, which is weird, but I get it. So anyway, as I was saying for the 5 minutes that this wasn't apparently live, hi, now that I know you can see and hear me, I've put it on low latency so I can hopefully respond to you guys a little quicker. I don't really have a plan for this today. I'm just here. I am just a silly little guy. I don't I don't know what I'm planning on doing today at all. So we could probably do like live reaction stuff to things that are copyright free. Because I don't want my first stream to be shot in the foot by a copyright strike. But this is the first computer-based stream I've done in probably close to a year. So if things are a little bit janky, or I make awkward transitions and stuff like that, or I have to panic and hide a tab because I forgot to delete one of the not safe for work sites, I almost said the P word. I'm pretty sure I cleared those out last night. Don't worry about it. That's fine. What are you talking about? I didn't have any. I don't have a weird, suspicious past that anyone has to worry about. That should be fine. All in all, I don't think there'll be a problem. I don't know what else to do as far as like things on stream as a whole. So that's going to be a whole can of worms on its own. I am not positive on the like personality and etiquette of doing streams of me just sitting in front of a camera. Usually I'm behind my drum set and there are things to do immediately, but I can't do that as easily because YouTube is very angry when it comes to copyright. So it's like I can't risk a lot of that without obviously the potential of getting taken down, and that would suck. So I've got to be a little bit more attentive and careful for stuff like that. I may do a drum stream at some point down the line. I'm not sure what time, when, etc., but I would probably have to limit it to just like video game music exclusively, stuff that I can get away with on copyright, and just play stuff like that. I still will try to do stuff on Twitch for like no copyright restriction level of song requests, but I just haven't since I stopped doing my weekly scheduled stuff last month. Yeah, just moving on with my life, you know. I've been doing Twitch drum live streams for 5 years, and it really never went anywhere for me. So that's why I'm here. That's why I tried the YouTube thing, and it ends up working out really well, actually. So far, at least. Things aren't doing too bad. But I digress. We should probably do something that actually counts as, like, content that's not just me sitting here. So, with that said, what should I do? What should I, like, react to? I know that was delivered. Thank you, Amazon. Okay, sorry. This is content. Yeah, just me sitting here being a cute little boy. I have nothing else to offer as far as that goes. I could just sit here and talk to you for hours on end because I don't know how to shut up, and that's a consistent problem I have that I have to deal with from day to day. But that's why the whole YouTube thing works out, I suppose, right? What's been my favorite song? Oh, God, that's a hard question. That's a hard question. There's so many good songs. Um, I think so far, all in all, the one that has like captured all of my interests and all of my general like preferences in music is probably Stained, I think it was. The one that was like what, 2 weeks ago or so? So I think that's probably the one I would put up there. Although the songs from Victoria, including the one I uploaded today, actually is a pretty good one. But I forget her name. Selak? I forget what her name is. I don't play the game. I say it every video. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, Stay Gold was today. I thought that was another song for the girl from the prior stuff. It wasn't. I found that out when I was looking her up, like, for the thumbnail. I'm like, oh no, now I'm gonna look like a big dum-dum on the internet. Did I get a new camera? No, Dragon, this is the one that I use for, doing YouTube videos. It's just the one. My, stream stuff is still all back there. My other, like, 4 camera setup is still active. If I wanted to, I could add one of those. Hold on. Let me add one of those cameras. Capture device, sure. Let's just go with like my Brio. Configure video. Why do I have to do that? Oh, that's right. I have to do the weird custom thing because it doesn't know how it's supposed to be. It's silly. So, like, there's that. I know I didn't have my microphone on that one. I wasn't trying to say anything. But, like, I've got all those cameras active. I could just... just a blank shot of just my drum set. It's like my version of a cat cam. Oh, man. That's goofy. Anyway. Not a Victoria. So, yeah, again, I learned that after the fact, but I was like, oh, no, now I look like the dum-dum. You got multiple drums? I've just got the one kit. That's all I've got. I have multiple cameras on the kit. Well, not to lie, I do have multiple kits, but to be fair, the other kit I have is just the pads that came with one of the modules I use, because I have an E-kit that I bought out of a box. It was just a Roland TD11, and then I built my own, which is the one you see behind me. Everything in that kit was entirely made by yours truly, aside from like the shells and the cymbals themselves. All the sensors and everything are custom wired and custom put together. The bass drum and everything, I stuffed it myself, found a system that works really well for the bass drum, and it's really solid. That's what you see me play in my drum covers videos. Like, that's what's there. So, yay. Like, I'm proud of it. It isn't perfect, but it works pretty well, all things considered. So I still have all those old pads. I just don't use them for anything. I have been contemplating adding another one for like a piccolo snare off to the side of my hi-hat, but we'll see. I haven't married that idea yet. There's some other things I want to add to that kit as a whole. But I like the aesthetic of an acoustic kit, and I like the feel of an acoustic kit, but I can't play an acoustic kit in a house with other people. There's a lot of sound problems there. So I just was like, well, how can I get the best of both worlds? I gutted an acoustic kit and turned it into an electric, and it doesn't sound any louder than a standard electric kit does, but it feels better because it's actually built to the size of a full-grown adult, whereas the TD11 is like a tour sized kit. It's designed to be like folded up and put into the back of a car to be brought places really easy. And when I was sitting behind that thing, I looked like a monster. If you go far enough back into my YouTube channel, like down to the beginning videos, I was originally on that kit as it was, and you can see me just lurching over this tiny little kit, me with big drumsticks just smacking it. Like it was awkward. So I just stopped trying to deal with that. All in all, I'm happy with where I am. There's definitely room for improvement, but we'll get there. There's plenty of time for that. I would love the ability someday to play an acoustic kit again, because it's been over 5 years since I've played an acoustic drum kit. But again, time will tell. We will see. I am trying to... Have I ever tried... Have I ever tried... What do you think I did for the last 5 years on Twitch? Do you think I learned every song I played? No, I know. A lot of people here don't know that stuff and weren't a part of that community and don't know. But if you go a few months back, like pre-February, that's my entire channel. Was just uploads from my Twitch. That's it. And they were all blind. I never played anything that I learned how to play, because obviously I would have to sit down and learn how to play it. There were some songs I had heard before or knew, but I hadn't practiced or anything. You're not a Twitch guy? Yeah. Me neither anymore, but you know, not a fan of where Twitch has gone. You should try improving over viewer requests. Yeah, that'd be a novel idea there, Dragon. Shut up. For those who don't know, Dragon's a carryover from my Twitch. I've known him for years. So I like to poke fun at the people who've been around. The long time viewers, I end up getting this like kind of parasocial relationship with. And it's weird because you would figure it's the viewers to the streamer. That's the parasocial relationship. For me, it's kind of both ways. Like, I treat viewers that I see the name of all the time as they were old friends, because some of them are. So, and like, obviously there are names just in chat that I recognize. Like, I've seen so many of Johnny's comments, for example. And, okay, I don't know how to say your name, but NACL. I'm gonna call you Knackle. Like, I've seen yours, and like it's weird seeing people's names from the comments section of YouTube in a live chat. To me, that's strange. It's not that it's a bad thing, it's just strange. Feels weird. And of course, yeah, Julian, you're a patron. Of course I know you. But also, you should be sleeping right now. It's past midnight. Go to bed. Daddy says so. It's oh no, I've started the daddy thing here too. Oh, I promised myself I would leave that behind. It does feel weird to talk with people live. Like, I'm used to it now because of the Twitch thing being a thing, but it does definitely feel weird on a new platform talking with people that I haven't had the that sort of communication with. It just feels odd. Yes, daddy. No, we got rid of the daddy thing. Daddy Kathy is not a thing here. He doesn't exist. For the record, whenever I do switch over to my Discord screen, I don't mean Discord screen, sorry, my YouTube screen, I was thinking about something else. I'm going to hide some things in certain folders that might seem a little suspect or are personal. Okay, there we go. Still figuring it out. I missed a couple things. You explain the piss thing more? A serious question? You want to know the piss thing? Okay, my homework folder? No, it was like my payroll page for work, for example. Like actual personal stuff I don't want people to see. It's not that you guys could do anything with it, but it would probably narrow down like location data. So it's smarter to hide it, you know? I digress. What? Yeah. Certain companies in America use digital payroll. Like they allow you to view and access all that information. You can like set time off and stuff, like from your side through a web portal. That's all it is. And mine does that, so I have that sitting there somewhere, and I've now hidden it so you can't see it. Ha. Anyway, okay. The P thing. That basically just happened when I was doing live streams on Twitch, playing the drums, and I would have raspberry tea. I would have Crystal Light tea packets put into my water, and it would make it very similar to this being tea, this like piss color, right? So people would be like, "You drinking piss?" And then I just kind of bought into that by saying like we created a lore that I buy ethically sourced anime girl pee, and that's what was inside my bottles while I drank it. And then if I ever used like a different flavor packet that made the water a different color, we would be like, "Oh, it must be a special a special shipment." I'd be like, "Oh yeah, it's the Muscle Girl special. It's a little bit darker than usual." Or like Halloween, I would have like a red one, and I'd be like, "Yeah, it's the Vampire Blood special." There's literally half a decade of lore for my content that most of you have never experienced because you found me through here. So that's all that was. What an interesting conversation. This is why I can't be a streamer. This is a problem. There's piss lore to my streams. I can't get away from this type of stuff. I will never be a safe for work streamer. I can't do it. I'm too naughty. Hi. I have problems. I've just got a lot of sus lore. Like, for those who do not know, and I've talked about this on the YouTube channel before, but I used to be a not safe for work animator, and I do have some remnants of that around the room. So that's a thing. Actually, if you want to see one remnant of it, you can find it in the background of my drum cover videos, or at least the like One OK Rock one and Wolfmaster. If you look on a very specific wall, you can find one of the remnants of my old not safe for work animation days. Don't change. I'm the piss boy. Oh man. Very specific wall. Yep. It could be any of the other three, but no, it's the one specific wall. What's the piss lore? I explained it already. So you can watch the VOD if it exists after this. I don't know if it will or not. So that's my background animation. Not just that. I've worked on other things, all right? Auntie, why are you throwing 5 pounds at me? Well, euro, I suppose, but you get the point. Is there a difference? Uh, dude, I am still so nervous about this stream because I'm not used to sitting here talking to you at a computer. It's very odd to me. Have I heard of the Expectedly Arknight song? Expectedly Arknight song. Ah, I see. Forgetting to remove that second use of song when you decided to go back and add the parenthetical. Been there. Brr. I should have drumsticks. You're right. I should have drumsticks in my hand while I talk, so everybody knows that I do the drums. You're right. I should have the drumsticks. These are actually special drumsticks. I will never use these on a kit. They're from a live stream event that we did on Twitch where a bunch of drummers did what they called Drumsgiving, and they sent us these to show their thank you. We raised raised. There's the word. We raised money for to write love on her arms. So that's just I have them there on like a stand at all times because I like to look at them and think I did a good thing once with my life. But yeah, charity, right? I'm gonna get them back on their stand. There we go. I need to have an anime piss bottle shown at all times. I don't have an anime piss bottle. I do have this entire bin full of my tea habit. So that's something. My internal recycling bin that's literally all tea, except I have one protein shake container in there because I drank one like a few days ago. And cardboard. It's the piss. It's not the piss bin. Mom found the piss drawer. Oh no. God, I'm gonna have to start calling it the pee bin. Oh no. The least British tea. I can't do hot teas. Like, it's never been a thing for me. I've always been an iced tea person. I never been a fan of warm tea. It just tastes like actual pee to me. I don't care how many sweeteners I've tried to put in. I've tried milk, I've tried honey, and in various and proper amounts and the types of tea. Like, it just doesn't work. It still tastes like pee. But like actual pee. So yeah, I can't do it. We have a community lore post about the pee. Yes. I just saw the piss bin comment again. I'm not gonna be able to get away from that, am I? Actual leaf water. What about black tea? Again, iced. I'm fine with. I don't like hot teas at all. It's just a full stop for me. Iced tea, as long as it's semi-sweetened, I'm usually fine. I don't like unsweetened iced tea. It just tastes like cold dirt. I am an American with an American sentiment to my taste buds, so I really just like things with some sweetener in it. I have a major sweet tooth. I can't handle things that are bitter really at all. Bitter and spicy are not stuff that go well. Bitter because I just don't like the way that they taste. They taste sad and depressing, and I rather not feel sad and depressed. I get enough of that as it is. But I also don't like the taste of spice. Like, okay, I like the taste of spice. The flavor of spice is fine. I don't like the sensation it gives me. I feel like I get agitated. Like, why do I want to feel like I'm like burning? Like, that doesn't make me feel alive. That makes me feel like I'm going into a panic. Like, it gives me anxiety. I don't like it. Where's the name Catharsis came from? Literally, I needed an alias back in like 2014 for a a little bit of side work doing graphic design, and catharsis was just a word that I knew and I thought it worked well in that concept. That's it. Because I actually used to have this little, I used to call him my little buddy. Uh my design was basically it was just a V, right? But it had a sideways C in the middle, like in the gap here, so it had like this little C here that was like arced upwards, pointing up with the opening, and then just a colon also turned on its side that looked like eyeballs. So it was basically just like a little dude who was like, yeah. I don't know. I thought he was cute. But I only ever used him for like 6 months, and that whole like alias just really never stuck around. And I started doing work under my own name shortly after that, when the whole fear of like not working under an alias kind of died down. There was a lot of turbulence in the online like freelancer space in the mid 2000s. Nobody was quite sure how to do it, so everyone was just like, you should try this, it guarantees you more work. So we were all just trying to workshop ways to get more work better, and an alias with a like a proper separate identity with like your work under that was the better way to do it. Nowadays nobody cares, but that was the whole start of that. All in all, yeah. Like mild spice rather than mild. Yeah, like okay. I the spiciest I'm comfortable getting before I start feeling uncomfortable is like mild queso. And by mild queso I mean like Tostitos queso, like the really mild stuff that's basically more cheese than spice. At least it wasn't an edgy alias name. Yeah, I don't think I ever had one of those. No, I did. I forgot I did. One of my first YouTube channels back in like, God, it was probably 2008, 2009. I've looked this up. There's no content around it. So try as you might, you will not find anything. One of my first YouTube channels was Super Sad 5. Not kidding. Super Sad 5. That was it. I was the edgiest name. I completely forgot about that. Thanks for bringing back such an edgy memory. I was only like, God, I was 12 and that was deep. I was like, oh, you know what? If I'm sad, then I'm super sad. But there's 5 of me inside, all saying different things. I'm so sad. Tonight. So yeah, it didn't. It was ridiculous. Yeah. Oh man, I've had numerous YouTube channels, so I forget that some of them exist, especially when I want to ignore the edgy past. That's a lot of people to be inside me. Yeah, don't tell me how to live my life. Don't tell me how many people can be inside me. You don't know me. You don't know what I can fit inside me. Why can't I not? Why do I always do this? Why does everything have to become a kinky joke? What? I can't be. I have to use hand sanitizer to clean off the dirt. Make jokes like this too often. It's a problem. I have to go to rehab to learn how to not make everything into like a sex joke, dude. My past haunts me. My mental illness is what haunts me. uh Having secondhand embarrassment? Don't. I'm fine with this. This is completely normal. Everything that I like experience and kind of go back to remember and draw from nostalgia. I'm used to the feeling of being like, oh no, this is so awkward. So I'm not too worried about that. Give us some lore about the hiragana and the channel icon. Okay, so I wanted to... I already had the the logo of like the drum head with the paint splatters coming out the side because I thought it just looked cool. But it used to be like off center. Like I had two different paint splatters on either side, so like one was bigger than the other. I thought that looked awful, so I wanted to make it symmetrical. So I copied the best one of the half and then just flipped it on its side, so it was the full, logo that it is now. And then I was like, this still feels empty. Doramu. That's it. That's literally the only thought that went into it, was I need to fit something in here, and the hiragana of drum looked better than the hiragana for catharsis, like the equivalent for that. So I just left it with drum. So my logo is literally just drum. Katakana, actually, yeah, I never really paid attention to the difference. To me, Japanese is just Japanese. I never really looked at the different, not languages, the different alphabets, and was like, oh yeah, these specific things. I don't know it that well. It's weird because like I know some Japanese in various symbols I know and can read them, but I don't know what part of the language that they actually like are a part of. If that makes sense. Like to me it's all just one language. I don't sit here and go, this is hiragana, this is katakana, this is kanji. Like I don't care. I can tell the difference if somebody were to bring it up like, oh, this is this is that, and I'm like, oh, you're right, those do have like distinct characteristics between them. They don't look exactly the same. And of course you have the kanji that's like borrowed from Chinese, so it's like cool, but I don't pay attention to that. I just take it all as one language. We're gonna catch up on things. Yeah. Yeah, the 9-year-old me choosing an email which I'll use for the rest of my life. I still use the email that I used in 2013. I think I made it in 2013 when I was doing voice acting more. So the VA in my active email is literally for voice actor, because that was another thing that we used to always do in that time if you were a voice actor and you wanted a business email. And then I just kept using it. So now literally every website I use has that email attached to it, and it would take me hours of going through and pruning all of the old accounts that I have to update it to a different one. So I was like, you know what? I'll just leave it. It's fine. It's got my name in it. It's clear enough. People think, yeah, exactly, Codex. Everyone is like, oh, so you're from Virginia. No! I'm from Illinois! I've never even been close to Virginia. But everyone assumes that, right? That's just how it goes. Catharsis VA. No. Like I still do voice acting sometimes. It's just not common. Like I'll have old friends come up and be like, "Hey, you want to do a thing? I need a boy voice." And I'm like, "Sure." So I can still do some of the voices that I used to do fairly well, but I don't do them as I don't have them practiced anymore. So I just kind of it takes me a second to get back into it. Voice acting reactions when that'd be difficult. I watch a lot of things. I feel like I know basically everyone. Favorite food? I don't actually have one. I am a fat boy, so pasta is up there. It just in a general sense, all pasta is good pasta. I do love me some sushi. I don't know if I would call it my favorite. I don't know if I would call pasta my favorite in a general sense either. It's hard for me to pick, I guess. I don't really have like a whole choice on that front. It's just like, yeah, whatever's close enough. Food. I like food. That's the reason I'm trying to get uh in better shape than I was. Speaking of, God, I need to stretch. I'm realizing I've been sitting in this one position a little too long. I'm still a little bit tense from the past 2 days. I've been doing exercises, and my body hates me for it. Catharsis dog VA. Except we're on a completely different vocal like wavelength. Like he handles more deep voices. He's got like a richer tone. I was always kids or like young adult men. Basically, my range was like 3 to 30, and he's more like daddy. Like I can't do that. I don't have that resonance in my voice. I'm a child. Like when I do kids, like I raise my pitch, I talk younger. I can even go down to stuff like this and like talk. It's super. I can do this for hours. It doesn't really bother me, like cartoony stuff. It's like I don't have the down range in my chest. Like I can't talk like this and sound like I'm actually a person. Like it sounds fake and forced. Nerd, nerd voice. You treat me like I'm some sort of jerk. Clip all of that. You don't have to. You just have to ask. I can always go back to it. I'm not against doing like voice stuff if people want to ask. It died a little there. That's fine. Yep. That's kind of the thing too, is like not everyone wants those types of voice. I was always for like cartoony stuff. But then if I had to do that like radio thing a lot, like the whole like you start talking like this, like you're a really relatable guy and you're trying to sell kids something, this really cool new Hot Wheels car, like doing that sort of thing was super, like everyone wanted me to do that because I have that young relatable voice where I can put a little bit of edge in and I sound super neat. Like up next is Ben 10 on Cartoon Network. Like that sort of like bumper recording was something I did all of the time because that's the type of voice I had. It's just that's what I got work for more. I did that and like young voices, both kids and young adults. That was my range. If I try sounding too old, I sound like a guy who's young trying to sound old. So it doesn't really resonate well compared to other people who just have certain voice timbres that are designed better for other things. Like you wouldn't hear me doing a movie trailer because I don't have that big epic kind of voice. Like I don't have that register. My voice doesn't go down there. I'm a baritone. I can sing high and sing mid to low. I can't do like anything else, I was always the bumper voice and the teenager. Like, mom doesn't understand me. She's never like looked at me and gone like, "Wow, I get you," Like the the anime pro tag voice, Like I'm just your normal, average, everyday anime guy. I just show up to school and boobs fall all over my face. And I'm like, whoa! Like, those types of voices are more what I did. It was a lot of comedy. Sonic the Hedgehog. You're too slow! Like, I had never done a Sonic impression in my life. There was one day I did a parody for a Sonic thing, or I did Tails, but I used that super high-pitched voice because they wanted something grating and really annoying, so I was like, sure, here we go, wow, Sonic! Like, that sort they didn't want it to sound like the actual, like, Tails voice, they wanted it to sound like somebody trying to do a Sonic, Tails voice. It was that exactly, so I was like, sure. And they totally radical and wicked. Ugh. Ugh. Yep. Drummer, animator, voice actor, Sonic the Harem protagonist. Snapcube? I feel like I recognize that name, but I don't know. Is they a YouTuber? I don't know. I don't follow many people. I stick to my own circle of people I follow. I don't really tend to add or remove people from it. It's been the same for many years. I only recently stopped subscribing to the Game Grumps, and it's not because I hate the Game Grumps. It was just because they're playing more games I don't care about anymore. So I'm like, okay. Like I tend to stick with the same like 10 people. Rarely adding stuff unless it happens to really catch my interest at the time. Uh Yeah, Tails is usually voiced by females. Yeah. But that's exactly what they didn't want. They wanted a guy who was doing something to sound younger. So that's what I did. First, Jewel. First, didn't just get here, I swear. The link to Loyal to the Beat. I didn't see a link, so I'm assuming that it got caught up by the auto system, like the mod system there. I'm not positive. Probably. It's amazing I've been talking for like almost an hour straight, and I haven't done anything else. Like, I've just been sitting here talking. I haven't opened up a tab to watch anything. I haven't done any reactions or anything. I thought I was going to be doing that like right off the bat, but everyone just keeps talking about my past. So it's like, I'm fine with that. That's how it goes. That's good. Yep. I mean, I'm not against talking. I can go for literally hours. I have a problem. My childhood nickname from my family was Motor Mouth. So I can go 4 days, which is also why voice acting worked out so well, because I have very good control over my throat. That sounds a little sus. And I can do things like scream and talk and yell for hours on end without really any rest, as long as I have like a glass of water. So worked out. The piss arc was too engaging. Now everyone who doesn't know what you're talking about is going to be confused again. The Rock me. Oh man. The double checking stuff in chat. I don't like missing stuff in chat. I'm following it fairly well. I'm used to reading it while I talk, but I also want to make sure that I don't miss anything important. Okay. No, I don't think I missed anything. Okay, good. Realized also on the drum apart from the channel profile. Yeah. Oh, that was a message from Chris like 20 minutes ago. You screamed once and almost faded. Yeah. You get used to it. Or rather, you learn how to control your breathing. Like, I am also a singer. There's another thing to add to the list. So I've got control over my diaphragm and the power that I need between those two. So I'm used to that, and I already was for years prior to doing voice acting. So I was already prepared for that like level of control. Whereas a lot of people don't know how to do that, and they scream from their shoulders, and they just have their lungs with no bass support. So you can't go forever. But I can hold my breath for quite a while as a result of that. I've also never done any sort of like recreational drug. I've never smoked in my life, you know, like so I've got very healthy lungs that I keep up with. So even though I am out of shape in a physical context, my actual lung capacity is very solid compared to a lot of people. Oh yeah, I read that one, Codex. I just forgot that I hadn't answered it. No, I have not. I'm just not a gacha game guy. Like, I love the songs in them, the music is brilliant, but the actual gameplay of these games does not interest me in the slightest. Can I growl? Not well. Like, I can't actually do metal growls. I'm more of a like musical theater and stage singer than I am a like metal rock vocalist. I don't have that quality locked in. I can do a little bit of it, but not to any degree. Like I wouldn't do that in a cover or something, But as far as like actual singing ability, I'm not against it. I just prefer to not do it in a general sense because I have stage fright. Is my other name Johnny Sins by the No. No, I just have a lot of okay, this is what is commonly known as having ADHD. Uh I have a lot of interests that I've kept up with all of them in slight amounts over the years, but I've also had a couple of years where I hyper focus on each one. That's where I learned how to animate. That's where I learned how to play the drums. I've been doing that since I was a kid. So like, it's just stayed there. And a bunch of other stuff like that. I got a hold of it. I also know way too much about the ocean, way too much about astrology and astronomy. Like, I don't even like astrology, but I know about it because I ended up going down a rabbit hole about it once and I just learned a bunch of stuff that I'll never use. That's all it is. I like learning things, is all that is. So I just built on that. Oh! Well, thank you, drummer from Sweden. I just saw that. The microphone. Nice. Gosh, I can get routine like. That's why I play more than one. Yeah, it's like, it's not even that it's a routine. I just don't like the aspect of, like learning about games like that because it's very predatory in my mind. So it's like, it's fine if you guys want to do it. I'm not going to sink my time and money into it. Not really my vibe. I would rather be like watching animations because I love doing that. I watch so many things. Like, hold on, let me see here. How many do I got this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mambo number 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21 different anime that I'm following this season alone that I watch on a weekly basis. See you later, Ish. Ich? I don't know if whatever one I called you. I think I've used both already. Bye. But ocean fact. Oh, what would be a cool one? There's a lot of ocean facts. Did you know that there's a certain type of crab that will take jellyfish and use them to protect them from predators? Like, it will put the jellyfish on its back facing up, which is kind of sick. And it'll just walk around like that with the jellyfish just kind of vibing. And it uses that to avoid predators coming down from above it. There's a cool ocean fact. Yeah, literal meat shield. Well, more like a jelly shield, but you know. Are you only doing YouTube now? No Kick? Yeah, I'm not exactly a fan of Kick. I'm not against it either, but if I have other options, I would rather take those. I've never been a fan of supporting things that are made by crypto bros. And, yeah. I was on Daily Dose of Internet? Oh, maybe that's where I heard it. It's very possible. I do watch those once in a while. Each electron. Okay, so itch or each? Oh no, is it an E or an I? Oh no. We have the other question, the linguistics. Thought it was sea anemone. I believe it uses both, or it can, but they would prefer to grab whatever's available. I know you're a drummer, but have I tried traditional drums from other countries? Oh yeah, like if you've seen my, I think a few Genshin reactions, I've talked about world percussion. I learned for a couple of months on a djembe, which is an African instrument, and that's just such a beautiful sound. So much fun to learn how to play, too. You just, like, the specific locations of the hands on the head, and using your fingers, and, like, choking and everything. You can press them down and, like, scrape it with your thumb to get, like, a night. It almost sounds like a whale. It sounds sick. And, like, there's plenty of other percussion instruments I would love to play at some point in my life, but I don't know if I ever will, just because they're harder to come by, especially in my area of the world, which is smack dab in the center of a cornfield, and we don't have that much like cultural diversity here. So it's hard to get your hands on stuff unless you go to a different city. Hence why I have a rules. I don't know, an amount of time. Watch for, yeah, like having a set time to play stuff in general is a good idea. You don't want to become addicted to games and how much you spend and be like, but it's just $5 more. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Scary parts that we don't. Yeah, we only know like 5% of the ocean. That's terrifying. I love that though. Things can get huge. Have I heard of something called crystal basket? Is that that like basic? It's like a clear tub of water that's shaped kind of like a timpani, where it's just like a huge bowl basically with water in it. Because I've seen that. I've seen it played. I don't know if that's what it's called, but if that's what that is, then yes, I have. I just never learned its name. What are we doing? Literally nothing though. Like we're just sitting here talking, we vibing, we chatting. Called the theremin, of course. The theremin is a classic. That's like tip of the iceberg of like interesting instruments that you can find. Like everyone knows about the theremin these days. I have digital drums, but I need new ones because my old sound weird. Even when I change the sounds, the kick sounds like a hi-hat. Yours looks great. Cool. If you want to make them, that's what I did. It's a pain, but it definitely pays off. Overall, this kit was still cheaper than buying like an equivalent of like a Roland kit. It's way cheaper. It was like half the price. Apart from drums, any other instruments I know how to play? Not really. I can play the voice. I can play the throat. Like I mentioned, I was a singer as well, but can't play guitar. I can kind of fiddle on a bass, but I don't really understand how it works. But I also never learned how to play the drums either, so take that as you will. Same thing with the piano. I understand the piano. I can't play a piano, but I can fiddle around on one to make a melody that sounds decent enough. But it's all ear because I don't know what I'm doing. Do I have a cajon? I used to. I did have a cajon for a short time. My brother plays the guitar, and I used to play with him because he would do acoustic stuff all the time. So I used to have one, but I sold it forever ago because I didn't need it anymore and someone else used it. How long have I been playing the drums? I think I started when I was like 11. And now I'm 27, so whatever that maths out to be, I'm do the math in my head. I'm bad at math. But that's also like, take that with a grain of salt because I started then. I used my uncle's drum kit to learn, and then I was borrowing kits on and off for the next couple of years. So I didn't really like get to sit down and play it consistently at all, ever. Except for a couple of months in and out. And then there was a time where I got an electric kit from my parents and grandparents that was just like literally rubber pads. It was so garbage, but it was something to practice on. So I used it a lot to the point where I broke through to the plastic sensors underneath. Then I put towels on top of the plastic to make it live a little longer. And then from there, I lost my drum kit again because eventually that wasn't going to work out, and I broke through the towel material as well. So I just kind of didn't have a drum kit, and then I would find ones to play out and about. Like for a short time, I was a custodian at a church and a school, and I asked, both of them had drum kits because one of them was a praise band kit that they used for music during church service, and then the school had their jazz kit out once in a while. So I just used those, but it was still very sparing. I would just kind of go down, but I got permission to play them whenever, really, as long as I took care of them and didn't break them. I I didn't have another kit for a couple of years until I bought the Roland one in 2018 when I moved here. And then from there, I've had a consistent kit at all times to play. So a couple of years. I would say a couple of years in total, maybe a decade total practice time if I'm being generous about the on-off time I had. But a lot of it was just borrowing time and kits from other people. So remember the old streams on Twitch? Yeah, like the ones where I was here. Like, this is the old corner. I used to drum here with my kit facing this way, but it was like I was compacted, like where my drawing tablet is here, where this desk is. That was where my drum throne was. It was very weird. Very hard to move in for a guy who's 6 feet tall. So it didn't work out too well, and I moved it over there because it's way easier to move over there. And there's more ceiling room and more width room. Like in here, I can barely open up my arms and do like a full wingspan stretch between this wall and this wall. So it's just, it didn't work out too well. How much is my rolling kit? I want to say I bought it when it was new in 2018. I think it was, like somewhere between 800 to 1200. But it was a TD11, so it's way cheaper now. And I also would not recommend it. I would recommend saving up your money for a better kit in general. Go for something that's slightly older, like a TD30, if you're looking to get one from Roland. Other than that, I would say Elise's kits are fantastic for their price point. Roland is like the Apple of the electronic drum world, and they definitely do not skimp on making you pay just extortionist prices for what they offer. It's at the end of the day, like, yeah, they're made well and they have like solid pieces, but you can't really do any self-maintenance on them because they just plaster the things in epoxy, so you can't remove stuff and like fix your kit. If it breaks, you have to send it in if you have a warranty at all. It's just not cool. The best hi-hat I ever had was a Roland one, a Yamaha one, actually, from one of their kits. That thing lasted me like 2 solid years of constant playing, and it felt and sounded great. Not that the sound of an electronic hat really matters, but you get what I mean. It held up to my abuse, which is like hours on a daily basis playing the kit, at least at the time. Now I play a little bit less than I used to, but I digress. How did I'm sorry, Arc Soul. I completely dodged I missed your comment earlier. How did I get my start in music? Okay, so picture this. You are an angry preteen, right? And then one day you see that there's an instrument that if you hit it, people don't get mad at you. And you're like, I want to hit something and not get yelled at. That was how I became a musician. that was literally my origin as a musician, was being an angry preteen child going through a lot, seeing an instrument that I could take that frustration out on and going, yes, this one. That's it. That's all it was. I tried the guitar. I didn't have the dexterity for it. Like, my left and right do not function the same. This is a physiological problem with myself. Again, I mentioned I was a young child. I had some mental health problems, and I'm not sure if they stemmed from that, but I have talked about this before, so it's not like it's hidden information. But I used to, when I was younger, get into fits of rage. And I'm talking when I was in like first grade, when I was like 5, somewhere in that window, I would get so mad and frustrated that I would either hit myself or hit myself on other things. And one of those were consistently brick walls at my old school. It's because I didn't know what else to do. So I literally just would bash my skull against a brick wall if I got frustrated because I didn't understand how to process the information that I had. I've obviously since gotten much better out of those responses, but I think that that may have caused some frontal lobe issues that actually caused a separation in my right and left dexterity to a point where it is basically impossible for me to have the dexterity in my left as I do in my right. You can see this if I try to wiggle my fingers. See, it's a problem. I'm doing the same thing in both hands. If I really focus on it and I slow it down, you can still see them separate. This one still doesn't work as well. But that's exactly why I can't do stuff like play the guitar. This hand doesn't make movements like that swiftly. And it's also why I can't do a bunch of crazy stuff on the drums and why it seems to be a more simplistic style of play when I do play, because I don't have that dexterity. And I just have to work with that. I've gotten better. Drumming has almost ended up being a sort of physiotherapy for me because I have improved this hand as a result, as well as my left foot is this entire side of me. It's almost like I had a brain damage where I had a stroke almost. I'm not entirely positive. But yeah, no hot for teacher. But you can actually see it. I don't know. God, I wonder if I could do this. Let me see if I can zoom in. No, that's focus. Oh no. How do I zoom in on this thing? I've never had to zoom in. Oh, I don't think that's it. Is there a button on the back? Let's see if I can figure out how to zoom in on this thing. Hold on. Whoa. I think it's on the back and I don't want to find it. I think it's on the back. I can't find it. I don't know how to zoom in there. I was going to show you the difference in my eyes because I actually do have a difference in the way that my eyes function, or rather how well they work. You can see it when I squint, when I smile. One eye is more closed than the other, and I think that that's also a part of that issue there. How is typing on the keyboard? I don't type properly on the keyboard. I do my own many years of trial and error. I do a hunt and peck thing. Like, I type kind of like this. I don't home row at all. Like, if I could show you that, I would. Hold on. Can I? Go see my shorts, probably. I don't know if I can actually get this. It won't point down that far. Okay, never mind. Hold on. All right, so like there's this, right? If I were to start typing, and I'm almost always looking at my my keyboard. I can not look at my keyboard, but I mostly keep my eyes down. I can trust myself. Like, I can type looking up like I am now, but at the same time, it's not perfect either. So I just don't usually bother worrying about it too much. You get the camera back up. Hold on. So yeah, that's how that goes. Move back over there. There we go. Well, I only stream here from now. No, I still plan to do stuff on Twitch, just kind of on off. I don't have any schedule for Twitch stuff. What about playing game? Playing games is perfectly fine. My WASD and all the like that stuff is slow enough that I can manage that. I'm not that disabled with my left, but it just depends on practice. I also don't play that many games in general, so it hasn't really been a problem. But like for a while, I was really into Overwatch 2. I was perfectly fine on that. I didn't have any problems at all. I could move, jump, etc. I was a Moira main. Take that as you will. But I was also like a good Moira main. I healed. So for those of you who are like, oh, he only attacks then, huh? No. Uh, okay, did I miss something? How do I do the at thing? Oh, I literally separate. Like whenever I have to do an at sign, I use my left to hold left shift, and then I use my right to hit the at sign. That's that's how I do that. Yeah, like again, my left and right is not great, but I can do some things. Like I do have some finger control. Like I can do light blast beats on the drums, for example, because I have the control of my center and my index over like that. But it's also not nearly as dexterous as some others are. Like you would never see me being like a superb drummer for that reason. It would take way too long, and I'm already closing in on 30. It's not going to happen. Like I've spent this long improving a very minor amount, and I still can't do a lot of double pedal stuff, at least up to a certain speed. And as such, my right foot has made uh, extreme adjustments in order to double in lieu of not having a strong left foot. So my doubles on my right foot, to people who are like professional drummers, they're like, your single doubles are insane. And I'm like, cool, thank you. It's literally the only thing I have going for me. Uh, how about baby metal? Yeah, I can play some baby metal. Certain songs are harder than others, obviously. But like, Gimme Chocolate, completely fine. Karate I can kind of play. Uh, Megitsune is probably one of the harder ones for me to manage, at least out of the popular ones. There are some that they do that are just technically so impressive that I wouldn't really be able to keep up with them. So, work with what you got. I would probably be able to learn them, but that's a lot of effort. I don't want to do. Oh yeah, you should definitely go see Baby Metal. I was actually going to see Baby Metal here, because they're showing up here in a couple of months. Like not in my town, but a reasonable distance enough away. And I'm like, I could maybe swing that, but I also have other travel plans. I'm planning on taking a vacation to Hawaii at some point because I've never been to the ocean. That's it. That's the sentence. I've been to the ocean once, but it was during the winter, and the beach was closed, and it was cold and sad, and it was just not a good time. So I basically walked by it, and then I went to a convention center because that's what I was doing that weekend. So like I've seen it, but I haven't actually like spent time at a place where I can actually experience like the ocean and have a good time just kind of vibing out. So I plan to do that at some point. I've been planning that for over a year now and slowly building up funds to make that happen. But in order to make that happen, I was like, I probably shouldn't try to go to a concert because that'll be just a couple $100 that I will then not have for the vacation I've been saving forever. And it's that tight on saving that it's like, yeah, I should probably not do that. That was our first contact with orchestral game music, by the way. The first orchestral game that I remember at least was probably Twilight Princess, which I actually mentioned in a video I recorded last night for a Genshin song. It reminded me of that sound a lot. But yeah, that was probably the first one where I'm just like, wow, this is gorgeous. So like, I was never a World of Warcraft player because I didn't have the money to play World of Warcraft because it like required you to buy uh membership, and that wasn't happening. I was playing RuneScape on free worlds because I couldn't afford to play, you know? That was me. But as far as like actual orchestra music, I remember that's probably the first one. That was back in what, 2005-ish? So, long enough ago. Make sure I didn't miss anything else. Nope, okay. I did not miss anything else. I was making sure. But yeah, anyway, should we do something? Like, actually? Like, what should we do? I feel like we should actually do something. I'm not sure if it, like, I don't have many games or anything installed, but I could also just, like, listen to some music and give feedback on it, too. I don't know what else to do here. I feel like we've been talking for, God, an hour at this point, probably. But I also don't know what else to add to that. So, unless we have people who want to ask more questions, which is fine, but also, like, from here, what else? What next? Where do we go from here? Like every young kid. Yeah, paid by the parents. Mine, no, was not going to happen in my family. We were one of those, like, the only reason we had TV for a while is because we kept using the trial run packages for a couple of years. That was my family. That was me growing up financially. Did not work out too well. It got a little bit better as time went on, but not enough to justify spending that much money on something as frivolous as a game, you know? Yo, what up? Yeah. What's up? Yeah, I think that is that the one I listened to? That one of Raiden? I think, at least assuming that's the same song. And actually, I think I might have something. I'm gonna go check to make sure. No, it's something else. Okay. I was checking something. I thought I had done a video on a similar character. It was similar character, not the same. A very different one. Valid. There's a lot of music. So much to get through. My content will not be lacking for a long time. How much do I animate these days? I haven't actually animated anything since about 2019. I think was the last time I actually animated anything. I'm very out of practice. That's why you don't see me like post art anywhere or talk about it too much. Because like I talk about my days animating. I was one. Still am, but I just haven't. It's a lot of effort for me these days. I don't have the it's not a job anymore for me. It was for a long time, not anymore. And just yeah, it's a whole separate argument of like getting around to doing it is just extra effort. And now that I'm doing YouTube stuff with music related more, actually getting the time to sit down and animate anything is not very likely. I've done a little bit of storyboarding in the past year because of a personal project that I'm trying to get off the ground, but I don't know how much of actual animation I'll do on that myself. I would definitely need some help to get it done, so I'll have to pay people for that down the line. Is streaming my work now? Just between doing YouTube videos, which I don't count as streaming, it's different, but as far as like just between my part-time job and doing YouTube, it takes enough out of me that I don't really have the drive to work on animation anymore. I still love it, but I just don't work on it directly these days, although I'm not against going back to it. whenever I can manage to make it work. Like if I were to ever be able to quit my part-time job, and if YouTube does well enough, for example, that I'm able to quit my part-time job and do this full-time, then I would probably start including work on animation stuff much more often. You know, whoop, hit my microphone. Hi, Evaner. That's kind of where I am right now. It's like I have things that I would like to work on, but time and drive is very difficult to build with having to keep up with doing a job. And I don't even work that many hours in the grand scheme of things, but it is difficult. And yet, yes, Sweden, actually, very similar. Due to my own, like, I do not have autism to my knowledge. We did have me tested when I was younger, but it's also been a while, so I probably should get myself tested again, to be frank. I know I have ADHD, and I do have a generalized behavioral disorder that was officially diagnosed, just not specified at my age at the time. But that's the behavioral disorder is what causes me problems. I can only handle so much being at a place in person at a time around people before I start to get like actually physically distressed and like to the point where I start to lash out. Not sure if that's an autistic related thing. I'm actually going to be getting a hold of a psychologist to get myself reevaluated within the next month or two, if all goes well. And maybe I am. I really don't know, though. It's very possible that I am on the spectrum to some degree, given my other confirmed diagnoses. It's not off the table. But at the same time, I have a similar limitation. I only work about 12-hour work weeks as a result. My shifts are only about 3.5 hours long, and it's only like 3 or 4 a week. So that's all I can do. And it's at night, less people, very like slow pace. I can do my own thing at my own pace as long as I get the work done. That's all that matters. But yeah, I definitely get that for sure, Sweden. Animation does take a bunch more time per video. Yeah, exactly. So it's like, unless I were to start doing a bunch of like YouTube shorts, which I did consider for a while, just working on those, I would have to get the cobwebs out as well before getting into that, and that would take more than my brain is willing to give up right now. Yeah, because like my pseudo diagnosis was actually something that we're not sure if I have actually. It was never an official diagnosis. It was just a ballpark answer because they weren't sure and they didn't want to give me a full answer at the time. But yeah, so now I don't say I have that anymore. I know I still have some sort of a behavioral disorder. I'm just not sure if I have what they said. So I'm not comfortable saying that out loud anymore because things change and you can psychologically shift over the course of your life, and your age does change things and your life experience does affect how those go. So it's possible I was just in a worse spot a few years ago and I was like, that must be where I am. Yeah, exactly. It's like that's something that sucks for a lot, is that people think that being on the spectrum is immediately a bad thing, and I've never been one to say that. But I also don't know if I am or not, but I would not be surprised either. It would be like yep, that makes sense kind of thing. It's like being able to put a name. It's like a face to the name kind of thing. Or in this case, a name to the face. It's something that is helpful as long as you get the right help to do it. But I also don't want to armchair psychology myself into going, yeah, I'm probably autistic. I don't know. I legitimately don't know. I just might have something else, but I need a professional to help me to that conclusion before I decide to make it. Have the time motivation to stream animation. Yeah, and like right now, obviously, a lot of it is just that I am not comfortable enough in my own skill level. Even when I was more practiced, I did try to stream myself animating on Twitch a few times, and I would stop them within like 30 minutes because I would get frustrated at myself for not doing as well as I thought I would, or as I thought I should be doing. So I would just get mad at me and then be like, nope, I'm out, and just leave. It's a problem. Yeah, so I just don't, and I haven't in a long time. And then in general, like the last thing I think I streamed anything animation wise was working on those uh the storyboards for that personal project, and that was about a year ago. There, sadly, having to deal with being trans. Yeah, like, dude, fucking therapy. Like, it sucks because, like, I am obviously assuming here because I am not trans. I'm ace arrow. I don't really get it, but that's also due to the trauma. Like, what sucks is I know that at least on a surface level, you shouldn't have to have therapy for just wanting to be who you feel you are. It sucks that you have to do that because there's so much pressure from around you that I'm sure it eats away at you, similarly to other people who have other like mental health problems like depression, etc. And it's like it's good to have somebody to talk to, but it sucks that you have to at all because people can't just accept other people being who they want to be. Like, what's the problem here? And why do they have to make their system everyone else's like problem? It's shut up. Let people do things. Let people live their lives. God. Wish I had help who diagnosed with dyslexia halfway into. Oh no, halfway into uni. Although I do understand the thinking you're lazy thing, that was huge for me. Going through school was pain because I was always afraid to ask for help and I never knew what I could, even though I didn't understand a lot of the stuff, mostly in math. Everything else I was fine on. I just didn't like math. But I would always be afraid to ask help for math because, one, I was already not a popular kid, so I'd be seen as like, oh, no, he's stupid and dumb. You know, like the kid mentality of like, let's make fun of him. How is math hard? I don't know. It just is. I don't understand how numbers do quite that well. Like, I'm fine. I did get my general education diploma right after I was able to, but it was just like I never fully understood past a certain level. Like, algebra is basically where my limit for math went, and even that I'm kind of like, why math? I do obviously understand the basics. I can't do mental math too well, and I do believe that that has something to do with my own like inability to process information at a regular pace. Even right now, I'm fiddling with some lens caps from various cameras because I need a fidget toy, and that's what these are for me. So stuff like that. And you weren't allowed to have that in school. If I was allowed to have a fidget in school, I probably would have done way better. Yeah, for me, geometry was actually easier than algebra because there were shapes and I figured those out easier. That's what I mean. It's just so weird. It doesn't click. So it's just those types of things where it's like if I was allowed to have a fidget toy in class, I probably would have done way better. But they didn't allow these sorts of things. Okay, I feel like I missed something up here. I just saw that there was a new one. Here, watch cons really close. Can hear balloon pop. Yeah, I agree to that. The balloon popping is very annoying. Like, I can handle it. I just don't like it being a surprise. Like, if somebody comes up next to my ear and pops a balloon, I will punch them. No, it's like, certain things, but not a lot of them. Certain sounds can be very agitating to me, and sometimes you just get overstimulated doing nothing. You know, you'll just be sitting here, and all of a sudden it's just like, why can I hear the earth rotating? And that's why I'm not sure if I do or don't have autism, because I do have overstimulation moments like that. But that can also just be an extension of ADHD and other issues. So I don't know. So again, not making any assumptions, but I can guess. So not the societal pressure, it's the issue they can't physically be. Yeah, okay, well that's kind of partially what I mean. Like, it's a societal pressure that you aren't allowed to be who you want to be. And by that, I mean just down to the support of allowing people to get surgeries and adjustments to be who they are and be who they feel they are. They make that so impossibly difficult, especially in the US and a lot of places, that it's just a pain. So, like, in a general sense, like, yeah, internally, you're like, I'm still not me. And even the amount of surgery will not change that I wasn't born into the body I feel I'm supposed to be in. Definitely its own, like, separate pocket. I was just focusing on it's also a challenge to get yourself to that point, which it shouldn't be. Being who you want to be shouldn't be, like, hoops you have to jump through, you know? Like, I wish support on that end were way more open, but God forbid. Oh yeah, Mika, it went pretty well. Aside from me not realizing that I had to also click another button to actually go live, it's been going pretty well. And I can finally get to Demetrios' comment here. My motion design background. If I'm interested in game event update PVs. I mean, I do have a motion design background, but only a slight one. It was a short period in my life. I'm by no way a professional in motion design, and I don't understand it to the degree a lot of other people do. So I wouldn't say that I have anything specific to mention, but it shares a lot of things with animation, but I prefer character animation and effects animation. That's kind of where I focused my own journey on as an animator. So while the motion design is cool and I like the way that they do things, it's also just like, it's a different language. It's like speaking English versus Spanish. They're both languages, but like, you might be able to figure out some words that may have some shared source material, but they're not the same thing, you know? So it's like, I get it. Land of the free, yeah, not all the time, nope. Not gonna get political about it aside from that, but that's just, to me, that should be a person, like an individual thing that they have to fight with. They shouldn't have made it a political thing, and it's just annoying that it was. You gotta love it. Trig was easier than Parables. I never even made it to Parables. Like, I dropped out of high school after freshman year, but it wasn't even because I couldn't keep up with classes. I was doing fine as far as, like, getting grades that were decent. I was an average to slightly above average student in basically every class. But I couldn't handle with the social problems that I had. I could not deal with that. I was not a popular kid. I had a lot of reactionary issues, and I would get in fights constantly to the point where I'm like, there is no point in me doing this, and I dropped out of high school purely because I didn't want to deal with the people that were in high school. They wouldn't leave me alone, so I just decided to leave. And a couple years later, when I was old enough in my state at the time to be able to go and get my GED, I did. And I passed it with flying colors first time. I've got my GED. That's it. That's all I needed. And from there, I became artist animator, and you really don't need a degree for that. It can help in some fields, but as long as you have a good portfolio, people will hire you, and that's what worked out for me for a while. So that's what I did for a while. Amongst other, of course, various part-time jobs that don't require anything above a GED. As far as experience goes, depending on who you're asking, I've got enough. So, all worked out. The Earth rotating makes a noise? Yes. A loud one. And it is grating. You don't actually hear it, by the way. It's just a figure of speech. It's like getting high and saying that you can hear colors. You know, it's that sort of thing. But the Earth rotating does make a noise, yes. It's a seismic rumble that is basically undetectable to human ears, but they have proven that it's there. Similar to many other things in the cosmic scale, it's like, yeah, a lot of things make noise. The sun makes noise, you know. gravitational pull technically makes noise. It's just we can't perceive it. So, yeah. Anyway, we should we do something, or should we just keep talking? Because I'm good on either one. Understanding Dutch and German is very fun. Yeah, it's sort of that thing where it's like a lot of Germanic languages I do understand to at least a rudimentary degree for similar reasons. Like a lot of them share roots with English, and I can just put those together and at least get the gist. So it's that sort of thing. It's like you can manage. Listen to me talk is fun, sort of a podcast. That's valid. I think listening to me talk is grating, but that's because I have to do it 24/7, and I do talk a lot. I'm actually going on what got going on an hour and a half at this point. Yeah. So it's like, should I keep talking? Should we like actually do some like real content at this point? I feel like up to this point, you guys have just been like asking me general questions. And I've just been talking and letting the thoughts flow, which is fine. I just don't know if it's entertaining. I don't see myself as entertaining. I don't know why some people can like see themselves and go like, yeah, I'm an entertaining person. I've never had that. I've never had that thought where I've been like, yeah, people like me. They really like me. Like, I've never had that thought. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just a goober. What have I talked about thus far? God. There was the P thing. There was the voice acting thing. There was my old animation career thing. Don't ask about the P thing, by the way. A bunch of random subjects. We've just kind of been going down the line of various stuff. I'm sure a lot of this will survive on the VOD. I'm not sure how specific YouTube will be when it comes to censoring certain parts of streams like this. But, yeah. What's the P thing? What I said, don't ask. You love my videos. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm slightly self-deprecating. I'm self-deprecating a little bit on that. I just don't know why people like the opinions of a random dude so much, but I guess I can get it because I watch other people on YouTube. It's just weird being the one on the receiving end. You know? It feels very odd. So in relative personal, talking is always more entertaining. Yeah. I've never wanted to, and that was the same on Twitch too. I've never wanted to be one of those people who has like so many thousands of people that they can't be a human anymore. Like I never want to be to that level. I want to try to take things as personably as I can and as level-headed as possible, because I don't like the idea of everyone on screen just being words on the screen, you know? Every person in the chat is a human, and that's so cool to think that people are watching me. It's so baffling. But, like, I respect that you guys are spending your time with me. I just don't know how to process it because it's still kind of new having so many people. The same thing would happen whenever I got raided on Twitch. And there'd be like a bunch of new people in, and I'm just like, hi, I don't know how to handle all of this information at once. So I like to just kind of sit and chill with people. Not that I'm against having more people, but I'll never be to that point where I'm sitting here going like, oh yeah, I'll read one word per second. I'll try to get to as many things as I can because I have a bad personality trait, and that is the desire to appease as many possible people as I can. I'm a people pleaser by pure accident, just because I don't like people being left hanging. Because I hate being left hung, you know? I don't like it when I say something in a chat that this gets completely ignored. I feel like that sucks. So I try my best to double back and answer as many things as I can for as many people as I can, and say hi to as many people as I can. By the way, hi Dago. I saw you. Dago? I think it's Dago. Doggo. Your name is Doggo. One of my many jobs. Yeah, we talked about my many jobs a lot too. My many interests that have led to various various things that I've made money off of. The very personal, hey, oh, chat. Yeah, like, but, you guys are all just one entity. It's just all text. Like, that's, I don't like starting there. I don't go, hey, what's up, chat? Nice to see you. When I say, hey, what's up, everyone, at the start of every video, it's just because if I could, I would say every person's individual name, but it's obviously impossible. And of course, that's the same for bigger streamers. I understand the mentality of just saying in a pocket, hello, etc., everyone. But I don't like the feeling of not being able to pick out certain people and sing the praises as needed. So when people make jokes that I then turn into like those little goofy openings, I try to specify and bring those up. Like I highlight their comment and I show it on screen. The first couple reactions I did that were requested, I used to put the comment that requested it specifically up on screen because I thought that that was a fun way to add that interaction. But then so many people started requesting the same songs that it became harder and harder to track down the first person, or grabbing a screenshot of every single one on a daily basis was just impossible. So I had to step back a little bit. So it's like I try, but there has to be a line at some point, and I do understand that for sure. Show last week with tons of people watching. It was just chugging. Yeah, it's just chugging and chilling. That's all it is. You just try to chill, try to talk, and have a good time. Do a review of Africansia. That sounds immediately intriguing. I don't know why that specifically sounds intriguing. I'm afraid to watch it on stream because I feel like it'll get the entire channel, like not the entire channel, the just the VOD demonetized immediately, which I'm trying to avoid as much as possible. I don't know if there's any copyright on that song, so I'll avoid it. Game stuff I'm all for, but we've just been talking so consistently that I haven't really stepped out to do any reaction stuff because everyone keeps having things that they want to ask or say, which is fine. Prefer smaller communities to feel way more personal. And yeah, exactly. Yep. Request a song, be played in 2 hours. Yeah. It's like I try, and that's why like I know at some point in the line too, I would have to at some point I'm gonna have to like stop doing daily videos because it will get to a point where I just can't keep up with doing that. And I know that that's gonna put a lot of people down on the video consistency, but I have other things I want to do as well. So it's like that time won't be wasted. It'll be going into doing those longer form videos like video essay style stuff where I break down and talk about specific animation pieces and series that I want to highlight and talk about their creative team behind them and etc., as well as drum covers, because I want to do some of those more too, but I really can't monetize those as often because they're usually copyright stuff. So yeah. Know about DLC? Yeah. To the Final Fantasies? Not really. I haven't listened to too much recent Final Fantasy stuff. I kind of fell out of those games around whenever 7 came out. Not the remake, the original 7. Drunk covers, I can't drink. Otherwise, sure. It's under BYG Records, no clue about copyright. Yeah, that's why it's so hard to tell, like, copyrights. Oh, drunk. You meant drum covers. I thought you meant drunk drum covers. I So I was like, oh yeah, like no, but that would be kind of funny. But no. What's the reason you can't drink, Knight? Not? I just realized you didn't have an I there. It's not. Freaking not. I thought it was freaking Knight this whole time, but I didn't want to call you freaking. Like, what's the reason you can't? Because mine is just type 1 diabetes. It's a typo. Okay, fair enough. I'll call you Knight then. I just realized that I had the O there. You know, you could change that, right? You should be able to change that back. Make it an I, unless it's taken, which is possible. You have medication. Valid. I mean, same, I guess, at that level. For me, since alcohol acts as a blood thinner, it's not exactly the smartest thing to drink alcohol that thins your blood when you have something that is affected. When you have something that affects your blood quality at a constant rate. Yeah, you can't drink a lot. You can drink a little bit. Like, I can have a glass of wine, or like a Mike's Hard, you know, like it's not like I can't drink, period, but I stay at one. And I also just don't like things like beer. Beer's gross. As my grandpa said, beer is just tobacco, spit, and water. That's all it is. It tastes disgusting. I don't care how good the beer is. It's not. If you like beer, that's fine. It's not for me. But I also, similar to what Knight said, don't have the best resistance. I've never really had the best alcohol resistance anyway. Like when I was, I think 17, it was right before I was diagnosed with type 1. It was like the prior couple months into that. Maybe I was 16. I did have a little bit of alcohol in my own home, supervised by my parents, who were not exactly happy about it, but I wanted to give it a shot. Tried to have like 3 Mike's Hard Lemonades, and I ended up throwing up the next morning. So yeah, I don't have the best ability to absorb and hold alcohol, so I just don't bother. Yeah, cider is fine, depending on what it is. I don't tend to like just plain alcoholic apple cider too much. It's a little too bitter for me. It depends on the brand though, because I've had some that are perfectly fine. There was like this elderflower one that I had. It's like elderberry maybe cider. That was fantastic. It was dangerous. German beer and some wine is enjoyable. Yeah, like I just in general, I don't like the taste of alcohol. If I have any alcohol, I prefer it to be something sweeter that masks the actual alcohol taste. Uh, I just don't like the way that it, in general, the flavor is not there for me. I don't like how it just tastes like burning. First time I ever drank scotch, a 6-pack Bud Light. Oh no. Yeah. Like I don't understand, I guess, to a degree. I suppose mental health is a factor there, but I really don't understand why somebody would want to cause themselves to be sick or like get so drunk to the point that they don't remember who or where they are. That's so far. That is so far away from something that I want to have in my life. So I don't think I'll ever do that. So I just kind of avoid it as a whole now. Aside from like the occasional drink, but it's like seriously once every couple of months I'll have something, and it has to be something sweeter and less abrasive. Yeah, amazing organs. Drink liters of alcohol during your graduation. No signs of being drunk. Jeez, bro, you metabolize quick, huh? Although I wouldn't keep doing that. Because I don't care how good your organs are, quote unquote, you will definitely cause yourself problems down the line. I started taking medication. I was told not to drink any alcohol. I was already alcohol free for yeah. It's like that sort of thing. They were just like, remember, you can't have alcohol too much. And I'm just like, that's fine. I don't. Like, if we're talking how much of a square I am, I have never smoked anything in my life. You know, like, to be fair, I have had edibles in very recent times. My first edible was a couple of months ago, and I'm 27. It's not that I've ever been against it. I just had never had a reason to try, and I also don't like the idea of smoke in my lungs. Full stop. I don't care what the substance is. I don't want something in my lungs. Why would somebody want something in their lungs? I never understood that. But edibles, sure. But I also don't overdo it. I have like within legal limit amounts. I don't push myself or anything. I don't get high. I have the amount that makes you kind of go, oh, the voice has stopped. That's about all I have. We're talking like my max dose was like 5 milligrams. Ooh. Call the police. So like I'm not one for substance usage as a whole. Obviously, if you don't want anything, you know what I mean? I don't want a foreign substance in my lungs. I don't understand that. Even down to vaping, I don't get why you would do that. It's just wet smoke. It's not really any better. Like, yeah, it doesn't affect the lungs quite as hard, but especially if you already have to deal with something like having, if you have nicotine in the vape, that's not any better than smoking. Silly. Yeah, like cigarette smoke just is a complete repellent for me. I don't like the smell of it at all. Like if I'm in a place that has like a faint smell of smoke, I'm like, I'm leaving. Or very least I try to leave as soon as physically possible. Medical cannabis when you're at home. Can't do in public. Yeah, it's... Here, it's not even legal to do in public at all. Like, you're allowed to buy it, but you have to buy it at a properly rated dispensary, etc., of course, legally, and then within your own home. There's no, like, locations to do it, unless it's the dispensary itself with, like, a specific section designed for that. Get I got high by accident on a magical brownie. Ooh. After being 2 packs a day, oof, for 12, jeez. If your vape has nicotine in it, you should stop. That's the end of that sentence. Try harder, I believe in you. I also don't know if you just have, like, nicotine-free whatever. You tripped hard and vowed to never do it again. Again, like, having a little bit is one thing. Having too much is obviously a bad thing. If you had a brownie, those can be very potent, depending on who made them and how much was in them. If you have, like a candy or something with it, like, mildly infused, it's usually a very regulated amount, or within, like, 0.5 of what it states on the package. So it's usually a lot safer. But people who make their own brownies or just in general make brownies don't tend to measure quite as safely or don't measure at all. And that's where you get the problems. Because, like, you could have had, like, 200 milligrams in that one brownie for all I know. It's hard to tell. Never eat cannabis. That's a weird way to say that. Having an out-of-body experience. Yeah, like, again, too much, bad thing. If you have, like, very small regulated amounts, it won't do much to you. But depends on the person. That's why I start very, very, very low and slow, you know? Never push yourself. I don't want to ever become, like, the high to the point where I'm having, like, I'm tripping balls, you know? I don't want to get there. I'm fine with just having the thoughts quiet down for a minute. That's the extent of what I'm worried about having. I've only tried vapes and sweetened cannabis is no. Oh, big no. Yeah. So it's like, it really depends on where you live too. So yeah. It's, I mean, technically where I live, it's not exactly legal either. But all you have to do is hop a state line. Uh, Ooh, I haven't stretched in like an hour. Oh man, my muscles still aren't forgiving me for all that exercise I've been doing. Fat boy is trying to get better, trying to be thin again, make Kathy thin again. I've gained, the thinnest I've been in many years was 2021, and I was like 190 pounds. Had to specify. And I realized a few days ago that my habits are getting worse. And I was like, how fat have I gotten? And I weighed myself again, and I was 224, which means I've gained almost 30 pounds in 2 years, just because that's what neglect will do. And that's what America does to the body. I don't lift. No, I'm just doing basic, like at home routine stuff, walking, get it. I have a treadmill, but I don't use it right now. I'm going to work myself into that. I went on a walk yesterday, about I'd say maybe a mile if you're really pushing it. And then just I did like a push-up routine the night before that. Just like I did 2 years ago, I'm following Jack's Blades videos because bro is so uplifting and helpful. And both times I said that I'm starting up with Jack's Blades stuff, he responds to those posts going, yeah, bro, fucking let's go. And I'm like, dude. So it's nice to have somebody who both puts stuff out like that that's very uplifting, but also is willing to actually help push you in that correct direction. So I'm getting there. I do want to improve my body and be a better person. We'll get there though. I do walk a ton at work, but at the end of the day, it's not high intensity enough to counterbalance all of the bad I've done to myself in the past couple of years. But I'm sure I'll do well enough to drop a couple pounds. I'm hoping by the time I do that vacation in Hawaii that I'll be around or below 200 again. But that's in spring. So at least ideally spring. So I got what, 6 months to drop 30 pounds? That's not that hard. Drumming does have some benefits to it, but it's also not nearly as intense on the rest of the body. It's more upper, like it's basically purely arm and leg. So like my core isn't getting any sort of a workout there. So it's like, I need some more attention to different parts of my body. If I trusted public pools, I would do swimming. But I sure as hell don't. I'm sure at some point, if I were like, I don't want to. My goal isn't to get swole, but at some point, if I just decide that I want to start bulking a little bit more, I'll probably look into getting an actual gym membership or something. But at least for where I am now, where a half-mile walk makes me sweat and I'm winded, loosely winded. I'm not that bad, but like I was winded after doing a push-up routine that Jack's Blade has, like a walk, like a workout uh that he does, like a follow along thing. That hurt. That that was winded. That and then a little bit of one of his other ones that was like a little bit more core and generalized. You live by the ocean and a warm mineral spring in Florida. So how's your touring industry going right now? I'm sorry. That's a sensitive subject to a lot of people. I'm sure you probably just like, wow, yeah, I didn't see that coming, but it is funny to see it as somebody who's not in that state, just watching it eat itself alive. Or postal worker. Oh, yeah. You get the steps in as a postal worker. You ignore tourists. Probably the best idea. One of these days, I'm sure I'll be where I want to be physically, but I have to get down further yet before that happens. Like, it's been a whole day since I did that push-up routine. I still feel the pump in my chest. I am not a strong boy. Well, okay, I'm stronger than most on average. To the point where it kind of freaks people out how like low-key strong I am. I'm one of those sleeper build kind of people. But that's just because I was bred to be a farmer. So I've got a lot of innate physical ability that is designed to handle large loads of weight at any given time. But I didn't ask for that. It just kind of came with the property. Prices are crazy, people struggling. Yeah, I imagine. Ugh. Yeah, just lift some hay bales and sheep. I used to. That used to be something I did on a pretty regular basis. My grandpa was a dairy farmer. Although he got rid of the sheep very early into my life. Like, I barely remember them. I remember him having them, but I just don't remember them a lot. But hay bale moving, feed buckets. Yup. I used to show dairy cattle, that sort of thing. You get used to fighting with them. Yeah. So you lift and pull things all day. Yeah, it's like I kind of have a similar thing. I'm moving around most of the time I'm at work, but the other half of the time I'm not. So it kind of cancels itself out. Exactly now, heavy, strong. Jeez. Tell it to stop. Go outside and start yelling at the sky. Stop! I'm trying to watch a live stream! Listen to death metal when you walk. Yeah. Yeah. I've done that before. You listen to certain types of music. I find that like EDM stuff actually works really well for working out because it's energizing and it has a very clear BPM and usually very similar, so you can kind of keep a general pace with it. Works great for walking or doing like very steady exercise stuff. Am I up north? Yeah. I was born in Illinois. I currently live in Iowa. That's public information, by the way. I'm not doxing myself. I've already talked about that numerous times. Wisconsin is the border I mean when we talk about dispensaries. Like we talked about that earlier. We could also go to Illinois, but Wisconsin's a little bit easier. Was in Madison for a while. Hey, that's weird to think about. Wait, how like I was never in Madison, mind you, but I do have family in Madison. How long were you in Madison? Like How many years ago? For how many years? Because it's weird to think that there may have been a time where I was literally in Madison and you were probably like 5 minutes away from where I was. To be fair, 20. Oh, okay, yeah. So there probably was a point where I was in yeah, because I have family that lives in Sun Prairie, so there it's that gives you a generalized area of where I was. So it's like yeah, there was definitely a point there where you and I were like well within 20 minutes of each other, and we never knew because it was so long ago. Stream goes on fine for 2 hours. Yeah, it's good. Live in northern Mexico. I'm sorry. I'm kidding. I don't know how Mexico is at all. There is a constant thing here. Like literally a week ago, there was somebody, and keep in mind, I live in Iowa, the most conservative state in the northern half of the U.S., I believe, if not just like one of two that are very conservative. So therefore, we get a lot of racism up here, and it's very frustrating to deal with. One of them was like, "Oh, my family was thinking about taking a trip to Mexico, but I'm afraid I'm going to get shot." And I'm like, "Where are you going in Mexico?" Like, odds are, if you're a tourist and you stay near the touristy areas, you'll be fine. Just don't cause problems, and nobody's going to cause you problems. In a general worldview, that's how it goes. Just don't be a jerk, and people won't cause problems. If you don't cause them, nobody's going to cause problems. But it's just like, it's insane to think that people are like, I'm afraid to go here because those Mexicans are so, like, problematic. It's like, where do you get off, dude? Like, check yourself. I know your skin is white, but your worldview can be a little bit more open than that. Jesus. Lived in Miami. Now that's dangerous. Yeah, could see that one. Yeah, I've never been to Florida either. I've barely been out of the Midwest as a whole. I've kind of been stuck up in this pocket my whole life, but that's why I want to take an extreme vacation away from here because I think it'll be a nice change of pace. Stockholm. Yeah, some parts of Stockholm are a little bit iffy. I've heard that before. Yeah, like that's kind of it is. Most places are fine in the grand scheme, and a lot of the time, if you go looking for trouble, you'll find it, you know? But if you stay to the common paths, the stuff where like everyone's just kind of chill, they don't mind. You might have some people, especially in touristy locations all over the world, that will try to take advantage of you being a stupid tourist. But just be real, be honest, and be like, no, I'm not buying what you're selling. Bye. Like, walk away. Learn how to walk away, right? The Balkans. Ooh. Yeah, that's definitely a melting pot there. Oh, you're in Mexicali. Oh. Now I know where you are. I'm coming to find you. There's been I've actually really wanted to travel to Calexico, but that's one of those things where it's kind of like lower on the bucket list, maybe someday. I just think it's such a cool idea to have like these twin cities on the border that just share the cultural influence all around. Like this just seems so cool, dude. I want to see places like that in my time, but it's always so expensive to do that sort of thing. Like, ugh. Ormos equals Balkan. Yeah, it's like I've always loved spots like that in the world, and of course I would love to go to Japan. I want to go to China. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Korea at some point. There's numerous places I want to go see in the world. A lot of Northern Europe. Uh, I think it would be cool to see some of Southern Europe. Maybe after the war chills out a little bit, I'll go a little further east. But by the time I can afford that, that's lower on the list too. I think I would, as far as like my bucket list goes, it's like top of the list is anywhere tropical. That's where I'm putting money to go to Hawaii just to experience that once. Then it'll be like Japan, China. Those two are really close. Korea right below that, but again, all very close. And then it starts to get into the European areas. I love Asia so much. The place is gorgeous. It's like, there's so many places I want to see. The countrysides of all those countries are gorgeous. I want to see the cities and I want to go to Seoul. You know, like I want to see. I want to see things. If I go to Japan, it's probably going to be like a minimum week-long trip because there's so many things and so many places I want to see and things I want to do. St. Croix. I think I know where that is. I'm going to double check. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. I was right. Yes. I was like, that sounds familiar. My sister went to college in St. Kitts Nevis. They have a veterinarian college down there. And now she is a doctor. You can tell which one's the favorite child. Yeah, so like I've never been down there, but the rest of my family, immediate family did because they went to go visit her once, but I couldn't afford it. So they saved up a bunch and I was like, I would love to go, but also can't. Sucks because that would have taken that off of the bucket list for me, at least off the top of the list, if I had had the chance to go. But yeah, it's fine. I get to take my own trip, have my own party. I'm just reading chat here. Sorry if I got quiet. Oh yeah, I didn't say bye to Mirwind. Bye. I don't know if you're still here waiting for me to say bye to you, but bye. I missed that. Like I read it and then I forgot about it because I was looking up St. Croix. No, it's not my fault. It's not my fault at all. Blame Yvonne. Went to Beijing once. Almost got shanked rods instead. Oh no. Yeah, it's like I wanted to go to China, not for the cities of China. Also, I am a 6 foot tall guy who will absolutely flatten you if you try that on me. But that aside, I want to see the countryside of China. That's where I don't care about the cities at all. That doesn't interest me there. I want to experience the countryside of China. I think that's the pretty spot, you know. I would try to avoid basically any city interaction. I would basically go immediately from the airport to the countryside with a tent and try to spend my time out there. But it's also kind of hit or miss depending on what times are available or like whenever I can manage that. It also just depends on how the future goes and what the future holds for the world in a general sense. There may come a time where I'm not even allowed to travel to China, but we'll see. We don't know what the future is going to bring. I hope something like that extreme doesn't happen, but you know, if it does, that sailboat all around the Caribbean when you were young, culture so much. Yeah. Yeah. It's like there's so much I would love to see in the world. That's another place. I would love to go south of the US into oh god, I forget what part of the sea. Just like the Caribbean area down there, I suppose. But it just looks so gorgeous. At least in pictures. And I know it won't be that magical in person. I'm aware of that, but it's also like I still want to try, you know? I think it would still be pretty to see. Beijing sounds like Liberty City in Miami. You want to see Yunnan in Western China? Yeah, that's kind of more what I mean. It's like just the countrysides of the Caribbean. Yeah, I got there. Leave me alone. I'm such an American. It's what's sad is like I'm one of the more worldly people I know in this country. A lot of people can't even tell you where their own state is located on a map, which is just insane. Visit Sweden. That's actually on there. That's part of the Northern Europe chunk I want to go to. Obviously, I'm kind of more, as we've come to learn, I love the Celtic chunk more. I would probably end up going to Ireland or Scotland first, as I do have some very, very thin familial lineage in Scotland. So I think it would just be really cool to experience just once. But there's so many options out there. Never stayed at resorts. Yeah, like that's kind of my biggest worry going anywhere in the world, I suppose, is that like I'm a very paranoid person when I travel, when I go places like that. I'm like, what's gonna happen here? Am I gonna have trouble? Am I going to get in trouble? Are they going to cause me trouble? I don't know. I don't trust people easily. I'm one of those people that like if I stay in an Airbnb, I'm checking every possible location I can think of that a hidden camera could fit. That includes all outlets. You know, I'm one of those people. So done with this assignment. I only have one here to get. Lots of cool homestays. Exactly. It's like, but also I'm paranoid. So it's like I know that they're cool out there, but also It's like I know that homestays are really nice usually, but I'm also like I'm gonna wake up one of these days and there's gonna be a penis in my mouth, and uh, I obviously that's very 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 unlikely and extreme, but it's just that sort of thing is what constantly runs through my brain. Hey yo, no, I'm not saying I would tell him to stop. Uh, no, am I near? I'm nearsighted. So like I can see you guys just fine. If I take my glasses off, I can't read chat from here unless I really squint, and then barely. So yeah. Hey yo, that's the funniest part I think about my situation being asexual, aromantic, is that I can make jokes about like sexual situations, and people go like, "Whoa, are you gay?" And it's like, no, I'm not even straight. Like, it's just like people can never align what I am if I don't say it because I make jokes in both directions. And like, are you bi? No. Joke's on you. Oh man. Oh. Oh my goodness. I just tried to go over to itch this spot on my back and realized how tense this muscle connection is. Oh man, hold on. I'm gonna do the other one. Whew. I don't even know what Project Moon is. Is it salmon or Sajman? Is it a silent J or am I supposed to Saman? There's so many ways. The world has so many freaking language rules. But casual reminder, I do not play any of the games that I do reactions for. I like the music. The buck stops there. I've never downloaded any of the games. Simon? Oh, cool. See what I mean? So many language things. It's like everyone has a slightly different way to do it. There's so many and especially given the community that's built here, it's so world-based that I can't figure it out a lot of the time. Oh, this? This is my glucose sensor. So that works in conjunction with my insulin pump, which does not, it's not active right now. This is actually dead. I have to put in a new one today. But yeah, like that reads the fluid in between blood cells, and then when I do the finger prick for a blood sugar test, that goes to the pump, which they meet between and kind of find a happy medium to regulate my blood sugar. Is that a vibrator? No, it's basically a portable IV. Like, I can take it off. Like, it's just attached to my body 24/7. If you want to see the part that's attached to my body, that's on OnlyFans. No, I could show it to you if you want to see it. It's probably easier just looking up an insulin pump on Google, though. But yeah, I basically walk around with a portable IV on me. This is just insulin constantly being pumped into my system at all times. That's it. So that works with the thing underneath this bandage. That's only bandage to protect it, basically. It's like a little piece of gold plated like silicone, like it's like a metallic paper in a way. It's like a foil that goes in and reads the fluid in the blood, and then figures out between that and my actual blood sugar, test what the happy medium for my blood sugar is, and keeps me regulated. Technology. Project Moon makes games like Limbus Company and I don't even know what Library of Ruina is. Ruina? I don't know if that was supposed to be Runia or Ruina. I'm gonna assume you didn't spell it wrong. Is that easier or less annoying manually injecting? It's I'll explain it. It's easier, I suppose. I mean, it's more of a pain to keep up with because you have to constantly be doing like blood sugar checks all the time to keep it regulated, and you have to change this out once a week in order to keep it new and fresh. I wouldn't say it's any less painful, though. It's just a little less annoying getting it in. You only have to change that out, the actual pump. I have to swap that every 3 or 4 days, depending on how much insulin I use in that time. But I mostly have it because I'm not able to do the needle part anywhere on my body. The needles and me do not get along, and while this does need a needle to go in, it is a spring-loaded injector. I press a button and it goes in, so I don't have to see it or do the motion, because it's really the motion. I can't do the, like, just here's a needle, bap it, so gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I got the pump to avoid that problem. So yeah, it's kind of a hit or miss depending on who you are. For me, it's easier. For other people, it's harder. It really depends on who you ask. I like it, but I also understand and am aware of the many annoyances that do come with it. Let's see here. Daily IV infusions for a month. 8 needles too. Yeah, I just got used to it. At least in this front. Whenever I had to do a blood draw every 6 months or so to give to my doctor, my endocrinologist, so they can figure out what my A1C or my regulated blood sugar levels have been for the past couple months. But I can handle a blood draw twice a year, like I got used to it. Now it's just part of my like yearly life, my annual things to do. I'm fine with it. I would much rather have that than have to constantly give myself manual shots like I would if I didn't have the pump. So it's a good thing to have. Since you have great. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. So you probably have to. Do you have to do an A1C for Graves, or do you just have like something else they need to check, like the numerous things they can get from the blood, I suppose. So Do I need to change it much? The pup? Yeah, every 3 or 4 days. That's about it. Oh, am I going to do drums live? Not today. At some point, maybe, but I'll probably keep it to doing like video game theme music. So stuff from Arknights would be fine. The quality of me being able to play them will vary because I don't practice them. I just play things blind, so to speak. So I'll do my best. But I do that on Twitch. I used to do that weekly on Twitch. But now I don't do it as much because I decided to focus on YouTube. So here we are. This just kind of being my trial run stream. Whereas like in the future, I plan to do live reaction stuff more and work with stuff like that. Skin cream for hormones. Want to deal with needles? Yeah. Needles are not a thing. I'm still not fully used to needles. I just, in minor amounts, I can handle it. I definitely don't like IVs either. Same kind of issue. Pills I can actually take dry. I just don't like. If we're talking like, I just take ibuprofen once in a while. Really, I don't have any pills aside from that for like health related things. They check everything. Thyroid, yeah, thyroid levels, blood sugar, of course. Routine teeth cleanings. Yeah, I haven't seen a dentist in 9 years. I could never afford anything like you see my teeth are all cooked good. A little weird. That's because I could never afford braces. So my teeth are all awkward and gross. And I just deal with it. I could go to a dentist now, but the government insurance that I'm on, it only has one location and it is impossible to get an appointment in. So I have not yet in the 5 years that I've lived here, and I haven't for almost 3 or 4 years prior to that. So I do take care of my teeth. I brush and floss on a daily basis. At the same time, actually getting in for like a proper check is impossible. I am thinking someday if I can manage to afford it, doing a long-term like Invisalign sort of thing, but I may have to get a teeth or two pulled depending, just because my teeth are a little bit out of whack and I'm not sure if they would go in straight without any sort of additional intervention to get that room made. But I'll have to see a doctor before actually going through with that to be able to give me the right opinion. So I'm sure as hell not going to be able to trust my own general opinion on my teeth. Hormone replacement is lifelong. Yeah, that's true. You don't want to affect the liver by taking constant pills and having to have it filter through all of that. That's a lot. That's definitely a lot. I don't really think about that, but yeah, it's like that is a lifetime decision. That's like not just the transition, but staying on the pills to keep the transition active. It's not something that I think about. Obviously, it's not a factor for me, but it's like I'm always reminded. I do have a few friends who are actively or fully transitioned, and it's like I forget about the maintenance part of that. And it's like, wow, that is a lot. Dental out of pockets cost, yeah. It's like, here a dentist visit out of pocket would probably be a couple thousand. Yeah, and like for me, I think I'd be fine with the Invisalign thing purely because my desire to have better teeth is greater than my inability to focus. You know? Nice to listen while doing your homework. Good night. All right, see you later. Culture's fine. I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be sitting here doing this either. It was, again, just kind of a test stream to see if everything worked well. But it seems to be. And, like, all in all, I haven't even, like, done anything. So I'm currently going through my my YouTube recommendations on like this channel, the Catharsis one. It's not my main channel for like all of my personal subscriptions. This is like a secondary channel compared to that. And as such, I have like really little to no like algorithmic decision of what I'm into on this one. So it's a lot of random stuff. Like you have some music stuff because I listen to music a lot. You have some anime stuff, but it's like because there's music and anime, I basically have nothing but really sus thumbnails because that's what they assume I want to see. Like it's a bunch of uh like anime girls with like Subway sandwiches, you know? Like it's really weird. Nothing stuttered. Yeah, I that's what's weird too, because like when I was for the past year, I've had issues streaming on Twitch, and then on here it's been perfectly fine the entire time. So I'm not sure what happened between here and Twitch, but the system seems to like me more here as far as my own computer and connection stuff goes. I do think I'll be getting fiber internet here by the end of the year because they're building it in my area now, so I'll probably change over to that when that's available. Yeah, I moved over to YouTube because of issues, right? It's like I don't know what's going on there, but I just moved to here because more people on YouTube watch me, and then the Twitch thing, it's like I've been doing that for years now, and while I still do enjoy it and I will go back to it for things like copyright free without issues, aside from that, there's really not much value in doing it. I still love though that like the day I announced my my leave from Twitch was the day before they made that terrible decision that everyone freaked out about a month ago. It was literally the night before I made my post saying, "Hey, I'm going to be finishing off this next month on Twitch and not doing it anymore on schedule." And then that next morning, I wake up to seeing everyone just like, Twitch deciding to ruin their terms of service. Fiber. Yeah, I have never had fiber internet either. So I was super excited because we have one decent ISP here and it's just cable, but they're not even that great. And they constantly have like down issues. It's a problem. But I digress. It's just I'm not it's glad to be in a place that's not bad. What's my favorite movie solely in terms of sound design, engineering? Not talking about background scores per se, more like the way the audio gels in with the ongoing scenes in said movie. I have to see how Oppenheimer's gonna come out, and how that one might take it. But Saving Private Ryan. I know it's a very safe answer, but boy, if it isn't one of the best for a reason. Saving Private Ryan has some of the best sound design ever for anything. It is so smooth. There's a lot of them that are fantastic, but that's just a classic one. Something a little bit more modern? Maybe something like the Transformers movies, the Michael Bay ones. They're not good movies by any means, but boy, did they pay attention to the sound design in those. Shutter Island's great too. Yeah, valid. Completely valid. There's so many decent, like, extremely well mixed films, and like the creative sound designs that they use and the way that it's all mixed together. God, there's so many. So many. So it's hard to pick my favorite, but if I had to pick a safe favorite, it would definitely be Saving Private Ryan, or the entirety of Band of Brothers, the HBO series. That was brilliant. Yeah, on sound design. So I guess Shutter Island musically was like on a whole different level, but the sound design was perfectly good for it too. But there's so many options out there. They're so good. Hmm. Um, how long have we been going? Jesus. Just for to vote Wicker Man just for bees. Valid. God, we've been going for almost as long as my drum stream average is. Usually I go for about 3 hours on those. And I've just been talking. Dark Knight's great. Dark Knight is great. Definitely. Jesus. Yeah, I don't even say Jesus anymore. I just say Jesus with like a. I'm still saying Jesus, but I put a little extra spice on the first syllable. Jesus, the patron saint of Wisconsin. Jesus. You don't watch many movies anymore? You should. I will send you to Jesus. Am I an Asian? Me? Do I look Asian? Is it the eyes? I've gotten that before, actually. People think that I'm even remotely Asian because I have a little bit of a squinty eye thing that goes on. That's more because I'm of a larger build, not because I'm Asian. To my knowledge, I don't really have any sort of melanin in my veins. I'm pretty sure I am about as white and rooted in Northern Europe as you can be. I don't know if I have anything else in me. To my knowledge, no. But someday I think it'd be nice to get a genealogy report and find out. But as far as I know, I am mayonnaise. About as white as I can get. Last movie you watched was the first Godfather? Like, that long ago? Or are you just saying, like, on a rewatch basis? Because, wow. You have vitiligo? That's so sick, dude. That's so sick. Like, I know you said, like, people don't notice, but that's so sick. I've always thought that that was such, like, a beautiful mutation to the body. It's so cool. Just like how a lot of people love heterochromia. That's so cool. Like, it just looks cool. Even if it's a little bit, it still looks cool. Jewish, Cherokee, African American, and Greek. That is a mix. To my knowledge, my roots are, like I said, largely Northern European. I've got Welsh in me. I've got a little bit of Scottish, German, Dutch, heavily German and Dutch. That's most of it. A little bit of Italian somewhere in there, I believe. But other than that, I don't really know much else. Which is kind of like a Northern Europe mutt. British for the piss tea. You said you were going to be leaving. Why are you back here making fun of my piss tea? The bratwurst flows through my veins. Yep. His mom is Ojibwe and French. That is also an awesome combo. It's like, God, I wish I had some color in my body. I don't. I feel so bland. Like I am mayonnaise. I am the sour cream of humanity. I don't think I have any other thing in me, and it sucks because like I feel so boring as a result. My culture is burgers and cows, like corn and beans. That's it. That's so boring. I wish I had something interesting to say. You know? Oh, was the Vikings? I don't think I have any like Scandinavian in me. So like while I say Northern Europe, I don't think I was that far east either. Like I think it was mostly the farmer kind, not the nomadic edge of Northern Europe that I was a part of. At least based on my grandma's research, and she went deep into this, very deep. Like I know there's a small castle in Scotland that somebody in my very very distant lineage once lived in, and I could go there. It still exists. It's still there, but like not in one piece either. It's not totally crumbled apart. Like you can still go in it, but it's also not like livable by any means. It's basically like walls with a staircase at this point. Go get your castle. It's not mine. It's like when I say distant, I mean so distant that we wouldn't even be seen as close to the lineage at this point. We're talking it was like the 14th century or something. It was that long ago. It was nowhere near now. Marry a Scandinavian girl and start a new route. No, I'm good. I don't want to marry anyone. I'm fine. I am comfortable. Turn me into a newt. I got better. Yeah. Valid. Thinking of Monty Python whenever you think of the UK. How tall were? Are you asking me how tall I am? Or was? Am, was, are? I'm 6 feet. I'm 6 feet tall. My fam had nothing. My German Jewish grandma came here with nada. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that's similar to our family. I'm pretty sure we were, I mean, my family up until my generation were farmers exclusively. So we just kept farming. That's it. My generation was the first group of kids that decided to not be farmers, aside from like, uh, well, okay, my parents kinda, but they stayed in there. They were that stepping stone where it's like your grandparents are farmers, your parents decided to move in town, and now their kids are like, ew, but computers are pretty cool. That's that's the generational separation that happened with that. So it's like the world is a very big place, and you forget how many years pass between like you existing and everyone else before you. Love gardening. Yeah, like I don't mind doing yard work, but I prefer to not have to do like farming. I forget if I've tried doing like flower planting, like small garden stuff before, but I fell out of it immediately because I just kept forgetting to take care of it. And then it became more work, and I was like, it's boring. So that's kind of what happened for my situation. My ADHD got the best of me, and I moved on to the next thing. For a while, it was very therapeutic, but only for a short while. Gotta bounce, keep up the channel. Of course. It's improv drumming. Ooh. I'm gonna have to keep that. I'm gonna have to give that a listen. I haven't forgotten that it was a thing we talked about. It's just a matter of like having gotten to the point of having to listen to anything, and now it's almost 3 hours in. Like, sheesh. See you later, Yvonne. Is it Yvonne or Yvonne? I've heard both, depending on the person. I never asked. I assume it's an E sound. Yvonne. I just want another drummer opinion. I'm still afraid it might be a copyright thing. I don't know about the company that owns copyright on it. Because there is one. We did find that out, but I also don't know how sticklery there are. I pronounced Yvonne correctly. Okay, cool. Well, I know your name is Yishka. I just wasn't sure about the second one because I've heard that in a few variants. But Yishka, I've only ever heard with the E sound. I've never heard it pronounced Yishka, which I suppose it could be. But I'm assuming that it borrows from the same root as the Y in Yvonne, so I'm saying Iska because that would make sense linguistically. I put 2 and 2 together sometimes. I have brain. It do be using. Hebrew, that's the root. It's weird because like I pick up on linguistic things and like the sets that they're based in, but I never really think about where they're from until somebody says it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Of course, because they have the yes, duh. But it's also hard because like you get words like Yggdrasil, Yggdrasil, if I can say it, Yggdrasil. There it is. That's from like Northern Europe and the more Scandinavian area, and it's like you get this Nordic thing, and it's like that's similar too. It's like, but where? So it can be a little difficult sometimes to think about that and not be a little bit sus that I'm getting it incorrect at any given moment. Just kind of go on autopilot and think about it. Yeah, that's fair. Somehow I got Yeeg District from that. Yee. Yee. It's been a long time since I've seen that meme. Hold on. Classic. A modern classic. All right. Despite it being, what, like a decade old now? Yeesh. Yeesh. How old is this? How old is this upload? 11 years. Woo! All right. Yeah. Leave now. Run. Save yourself. Maybe I should name my child. It's E. just have it pronounced. No, name your child Y, like the letter Y. Pronounce it the letter E. That would piss someone off. Just, oh yeah, that's E. Y. No, E. But why? No. E. E. Legally change your last name to Sports and then make their first name E and their middle name A. Grandparents living rural. Farm hazelnut every summer. Parents would once move to the Yep. Still going to the place where my grandparents live every summer, and here I am on a computer hating farming in rural areas. Yep. That's kind of similar to me. I don't hate rural areas, but I definitely don't want to live in one. But I don't really go out and visit my grandparents anymore. You know, it's like once in a while, once in a very blue moon, sure. But the farm life doesn't do anything for me. So I get that. 100% I get that. Oh, man. So all in all, it's been almost 3 hours, and we've just kind of been sitting here talking. It's now 4:20. Nice. At least for me. I don't think I have any like real plan to make these streams consistent as far as like what time I do them at. So like there may be times where I'm streaming on like the exact opposite 12-hour cycle compared to this one. So like I started today at 1:30 p.m. my time, but I could start at 1:30 a.m. my time depending on the day. I wouldn't be against that depending. But I also don't know how regular these are going to be at all. I think they're just going to kind of exist. So I feel like adding a schedule to streams makes me not want to do them more. So it's like if I just kind of do them whenever I'm feeling like doing them. Then I will. But also hopefully I'll have like other things to do while I'm doing this. Like I don't know, maybe some of these days where I like do them early in the morning, that's usually when I'm like editing my videos for the next day. And I might just stream myself working on editing while I'm talking to people. And just do that. But I also don't know. So time will tell. It's still weird knowing that I haven't really done anything other than sit here and talk. It just feels so odd since I'm used to drumming. But again, I still could easily set that up to do that. But I don't think there'll be... for those, I might have like a day in advance warning, similar to how I had decided to do this about 12 hours ago. No, more like 14 at this point, but I set it up and was like, hey, hopefully I figure it out. Because I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm never going to do a live stream, and that's going to suck. So I wanted to get it figured out early. Catharsis VA, Catharsis Drums, Catharsis Animation, now Catharsis... we, on Twitch, they called it chatting with Kathy whenever I did this. So I hope this works. And what the... So, do you mean like you saw this not knowing who I was prior to this? Or like that you had already like been following me or seen my videos and it was just in your feed or something? Because that's also funny to think that somebody who had never experienced me before was just like, what is happening? Who is this? Okay, I was pretty sure I've seen your name in a comment or something here, but it's like, I still love the concept that somebody's just going through the YouTube feed going, what is this? What is this guy planning? What's bro about to do? Whew. But I am definitely starting to get hungry now. I didn't really eat anything real for breakfast. So I'm hungry now. Get in there. Never knew I streamed on YouTube. I didn't. This is the first time. That's why the title is what it is. Because, like, a lot of the time, these will not be announced, like I said. So I'll just randomly be streaming at some point, and you'll either be here or you won't. Although, usually, just based on the time schedule, it'll be around the time I usually upload, just because that makes the most sense for me to get started when it comes to streaming on here. So, time will tell. But, I'll work on making them a little bit cleaner in the future. Some rando stumbling upon a music treasure trove. Wow, this guy really does do a lot of reactions. And that's so weird to me too, because like I had never done reactions up to this point. I never cared to. I was never interested in it. But then people were like, "This is really nice. We like your views." And I'm like, "That's different." So I kept doing it. I never thought I would be doing reactions. I've hated reactors for years now. I always thought it was the cheapest form of entertainment, and I still do. I don't know why people watch them. But I appreciate that people like hearing my takes on things. I just don't follow that sort of thing. It happened on Twitch too with like, I play the drums on Twitch. I like to play the drums. I don't like watching other drum streamers. Like, I knew a number of them just based on the community outreach, but like, I never watch any of them. So it's like, it's weird to me that people are so into it and like open to listening to a guy ramble about his personal experiences and how it relates to the music he's hearing. But I guess I do get it in like, I won't say rudimentary way, but I guess a novel kind of way. I understand that. So sure. I like people who know their stuff, looking into their works. I know that's the thing, is I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm looking into. I don't know how to drum. Like when we talk about technicalities, I'm really, really weak. Like I play the drums, but I play the drums way below the level somebody who's been playing for a decade should be. Because I've always just done it for fun and I've never thought of it as a career. Even streaming, I never thought about drumming as a career. I just like to do it. It's just a hobby for me. But then, like, people started going, "Hey, we like you too." And I'm like, cool. I still don't know what I'm doing. To this day, I have no clue what I'm talking about, but I like music. So I guess that's where it kind of, I have this, well, people have this belief that I know what I'm talking about because I guess I fake it well enough. But it's not like I'm faking my reactions either. I just, maybe I don't realize how much I know for some reason. Maybe I don't like allow myself to process how much I'm aware of. It's very weird. Yo, YT stream. You hear from, I don't know. I don't even have a car anymore. You know what? I think you're looking for my sister. Oh, yeah. To be fair, Koya, yeah. I've seen a lot of reactors in the past that are like, hold on. We go ahead and just kind of. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be listening to some stupid song by some stupid artist, and knowing that you'll watch whatever I put out, I hope you enjoy this video. So let's go, guys. And then, like, that's it. Like, it's that level of, like, way too much for me. Like, I cannot get behind people like that. It's like, just slow down. You don't have to be that excited. Jesus. And like they're always like they always start off with a hold on, let me get the camera in again. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, leave your name, your parents' phone number, and the 3 digits on the back of their credit card, and we'll get right into the video. Let's go. Like, it's too much. It's too much. I don't respond well to that much energy being thrown at me. Like, I just kind of like, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm here to listen to yet another song because it's true. It's like I've seen so many people. It always feels disingenuous when you see people doing that sort of thing for reactions too, because yeah, they feel like they're just not. They don't care, you know. If there's something that feels so fake about the whole like being way too excited, it's like there's no way you have that much energy. Like you're just pumping yourself up because that's what sells, I guess. And I don't agree. Still remember that warning white guy dancing? Yeah. Yeah. That was the most real thumbnail I think I've ever put out. It's and I haven't done that type of thing in a while too, but that's just because I haven't had a song that's really made me get up and dance quite like that one. Or at least quite like the few that were in there that really had that energy for me. But all in all, it's like I haven't hated the other songs I've listened to since then. They just don't have the danceable energy to them. Or some of them I'm like, there was that one I was like fake composing because I really got into it. Or like fake conducting rather. How have you not watched White Guy Dancing? Yeah, that one's out there. I forget what song it was, but it was one of the CC themes, I think. But either way, it was just a fun time. I enjoyed that one. Like me turning on all the drum lights, which now isn't as easy to do since I have a lot of that disconnected because I don't do it on stream anymore. So it's like, I don't have the ability to just hit a button and go. I can, but it takes a little bit more effort to get to it. Like, outside. See, like, I can turn them on, but I just don't. And turn those off. And living room back on. Come on, living room. Well, not living room. It's called living room, but that's just because I got too lazy to change it. Turn on, sir. It's not listening to me. It's not. It doesn't want to. Oh, I was hitting the off button. I was hitting the off button, guys. Me big stupid. Okay. Anyway. I forgot I have 2 separate triggers for that one. It's not just an on-off toggle. It's one is on, one is off. I forgot about that. No robotic uprising, just the human being dumber than the technology. You remember that I had to upload something? Yeah. And like that still rings true, just like my other my mental health day one. Where it's like I know I don't have to upload a video every single day and I can avoid it if I need to. And eventually that will come a thing where I limit my upload times and like not do one every day. But I just feel like people, as much as I like to keep people in the loop, other people like to be kept in the loop. So I think that that's valuable to do that for you guys. Even if I know I shouldn't have to. I don't feel like I need to. It's not like an obligation thing. I just want to. That's why they're always unedited too. Like it's raw from OBS recording, no thought, head empty uploads. I just say my piece and I move on. But anyway, we have been going for 3 hours now. I should probably go eat something, if I'm being honest with myself. Ideally, with a little bit more heads up, I'll have like actually eaten a meal, but I decided to be stupid today. I also had to take a massive shit before streaming. Eat on stream. I'm not a fan of eating on stream. I try to avoid that within reason, at least. What am I planning to eat? I don't even know yet. I don't have anything else going on today. I do, just since you guys are on live stream and I can say this and like give you guys the teaser. I have 2 videos that I recorded last night. I have sorry, I just completely dissociated there for a second. It does happen sometimes. So I had 2 videos I recorded last night. I recorded an animation reaction for an Arknights video, as well as a Genshin song one. That's very highly requested. So there's the teaser for what's to come tomorrow and the day after. I'm not sure in which order I'll do them. I'll probably end up doing the song first and the animation the following day. But now you know. And knowing is half the battle. But it's like I haven't edited either one of those. It's actually why I went live today, so I could get that figured out, and then I could give an excuse to my patrons as to why I didn't have an early release video for them today, because I decided to do this instead. I was not feeling editing last night for whatever reason. I think it was just the physical exhaustion of doing my exercise stuff. I was like, I'm not feeling it. It's like 2 a.m. I had recorded 2 videos back to back, and it was just not feeling spending an extra half hour minimum doing an edit. Ugh. I can sell this information for living money. No. Well, it's going to be public once I'm done streaming, so not really anything to sell. What are you going to... That's like saying I'm going to sell the obvious information of, like, the sky is blue. Hold on. Okay. Somebody had joined my Discord earlier and said hello, and then was responded to by Infinite Star, who said goodbye. And I was like, did they leave? Because like they were offline for a second. Like they actually thought that was like okay, I'm gonna leave now. My existence. Oh yeah, I actually that's another like low key video that I had planned, is reading comments from Billy viewers and answering questions, kind of like a loose Q&A and reaction kind of thing. That's going to take some effort to not re-record. I haven't done it yet, to record and get up there. So I'm not sure when it'll happen, but I do plan to do that. I've been aware of the Billy audience for a hot minute. It's just a matter of when I can get to doing that video. I think it'll be a fun one to answer those questions. Have any recommendations for Bluetooth headphones? Not really. I don't really use them. Pretty much all the headphones I have are wired, except for one. Okay. Well, I have 2 single ear earpieces that are just like the Bluetooth, like just to listen to music while I work, because my job requires me to have one ear available at all times. So I just have my phone in my pocket and that connected to that. So Aside from that, not really. I do have one over ear pair that I use when I mow the lawn, but they're not like fantastic by any means. They're all right. But I also don't remember the brand name. So it's kind of dependent on the situation. I'm not huge into like having to have the best sounding headphones as long as they're all right. Like I have these because I use these to mix, so I got semi decent ones for that. But again, these are physical plug-in ones, so the whole Bluetooth thing doesn't happen. Still going for 3 hours just chatting? Yes, it is, Evaner. This turned out to just be a just chatting thing because nobody really like we never stopped the conversation. It just kind of kept going. I don't plan to do this every single time. We will do like live reaction stuff in future streams, but yeah. Could I notice any audio fidelity while mowing? Well, I mean, yeah, I could hear it. Well, they're noise canceling as well, so it drowns out the lawnmower pretty well. But they weren't expensive or anything. I don't remember what they're called. I think I might have the container back here. No, it's out there. Right, yeah. I'd have to go and fetch it. Wonder if I could find it on my Amazon list, because that's where I bought them. Hold on. Because like they're not bad. So if you're looking for like over ears, they might be worth it. Well, they don't seem to really exist anymore. Uh, fair enough. They were Tautronics. That's what the name was. They were Tautronics active noise canceling. But they don't seem to be available anymore. So rest in peace. If you're looking for just like a single ear, I think the best single ear I ever had was a Plantronics one, which was like an M55. That was all right, but it also isn't. That was like 2015, so there's definitely a different one now, for sure. New model, new upgrade. Kind of surprised that 10 completely from each other. Yeah, it's just we just talking. Plantronics or Tautronics. The Plantronics one was the single ear one. That was from like 2015. The Tautronic ones were the over ear noise canceling ones that apparently don't exist anymore. Although to be honest, you had the spelling right for both, but just depending on which one you're looking for. Although it seems like the Tautronic ones just have copycats all over Amazon now, so I'm sure they're all basically the same level of decent. Again, the Tautronic ones weren't perfect, but they had solid bass, and I could tell what the music was. So, but I believe Tautronics was one of those companies that was just a Chinese shell that sold some more name brand version of something without the branding. That's probably all it was. They were probably some like cheap like Sony Sound Surge or like Bose Quiet Comfort kind of things, more expensive versions. Not a big deal. How come the music and my music reactions is always so much quieter than the original audio? So you can hear me. That's it. And sometimes I do bump it up a little bit, but it kind of depends on whether or not I think that the audio is too loud to hear my voice over. If you can comfortably hear my voice, then I'll match the music to that level. But since I talk over while I do my reactions, I make sure that the music is under what I'm saying, because I would hope that you've heard the song yourself. And if you haven't, then I would hope that you go back to listen to it, you know, even after my reaction initially, and get the full experience. So it's both a way of like you to hear what I'm saying and also to entice you to go listen to the song on its own in a way. That's why I don't like to pause, because I feel like that ruins the experience of listening to the song, even though somebody may be talking over it. I feel like that's more akin to listening to it with like a friend in the room, you know? They don't pause the song and go, wow, I really like the way this sounds. I think it's really cool the way that the piano feels. Like, that's, imagine trying to listen to a song and having your friend walk up and hit pause and start talking to you about the intricacies of it. That's so annoying to me. That's why I'd rather talk over, like, with it and just make small commentaries between. Because I think that that's way more comfortable, in my experience, at least, in my personal opinion. Yup. Valid night. Thinks it discontinued in the US. Yeah, that's why I'm just not sure if they because it was an Amazon only thing, and now like Tautronics, the company, seems that it's still around. I just don't know if they have that over ear headphone anymore. So it's hard to tell. I'm not gonna go to their website and dig through their catalog to find it. You know. But you found them. Yeah. No issue at all. Make sure they're the right ones though, because they might be the wrong ones. They were pretty bulky, to be fair. Like, if I'm recommending something, I want to make sure you get the one that's not the wrong one. 3 different models. Fair enough. Hold on. Let me go and grab like a picture of them so you can see it. I don't want to show you my order form because that's... Well, I guess I could. There's nothing really telling on this. Hold on. So just jump stuff. These ones. I would make the picture bigger, but I don't think it would actually work because it just gives me the sorry, these are not here anymore dog. Yep. So yeah, it was a couple of years ago. But these ones. You got those ones? Okay, cool. Happy with the M50Xs? Yeah. Like, that's why I have the M40Xs. And they're really solid. Can you show the browsing history now? I don't even know what my browsing history is. Hold on. It's all YouTube, Twitter, a little bit of Stream Elements. That's it. For today, at least. Sound Surge 60s. That's what they were. So whatever the Sound Surge line has nowadays is probably whatever equivalent they have too. I just haven't found them. Where do I find the thumbnails for reaction videos, by the way? I make them. I literally just grab a random screenshot of myself from the video itself before exporting, and then I find a picture of a related character. That's it. Not that complex. I just piece them together in Photoshop. It's my YouTube. I don't even know what my YouTube history is. What is my YouTube history? On this account, it might be a shocker. Lots of music. That's it. It's just basically the music that I react to. I don't watch anything on this account, so it's pretty much all just music. What's up, Lugia? We chillin'. I want to see how good my stream looks on the actual feed. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad, actually. I thought it was going to be a little bit more pixelated than that. Cool. Did I cash in on any of the SSD price drops recently? No, because I already have a decent enough set. I might get a new like I might get like a terabyte SSD because right now I've just got a 500 in here for like my boot drive, but I might change that. But that'll also probably require me to do a complete reset of my entire computer, and that's a lot of effort. I would have to reinstall entirely, and that's a lot. I don't know if I want to deal with that, to be honest with you. Like I should by all means do a fresh install of Windows, but I'd have to like write down everything that I've got installed on here and make sure I get it again, which is a whole like in my scenario, my situation, like a day long minimum process. But I can add instead of replace. Yeah, but I don't need more storage. I would need a refreshed boot drive. So the storage I don't have a problem with. I've got a couple terabytes left of storage yet. I've got separate storage drives. But if I were to upgrade anything, it would be my boot drive, and that would require a whole reset. And a whole reinstall. So storage I'm not worried about, but boot I have a little bit of issues with. Although I have thought about just dual booting this PC to also run like Linux, probably Mint, because I have Mint running upstairs and it works well. Well, I did clone the drive that I'm currently streaming with. I cloned it, but that's kind of the problem, is that it is way laggier than it should be for the hardware I've got in here. And that's probably because of my OS itself being bogged down by the fact that it was a copy, which happens. So, But I might try to dual boot Linux, and then basically, if I can eventually get the Linux build to work well enough, I might just move to all Linux all the time. Most of the programs I use work in Linux, so I shouldn't have much of an issue with that front. But I also don't know if I want to either. So that's kind of the issue I'm having, is I'm pretty sure that the cloned drive and here's the other thing that I know is very likely the problem. When I did this clone, it worked, but I went from Intel to AMD, which is, I'm pretty sure, is why it caused enough of a performance hit. So it's like, but it's also, again, in order to fix that, I would have to reinstall Windows, which I would probably have to buy because I don't have an activation code to use. So I'd have to, like, what, $200 for freaking Windows. Ugh. You see why I've been avoiding it for so long, basically. The code I have in here right now is an OEM code, so I can't carry it between a new install. Honestly, I'm surprised that it worked at all for this one. So, yeah. Here we are. And yeah, this is just a chill stream, Jebber. I'm just kind of vibing out. We've been sitting here talking for a solid 3+ hours. We one of the streamers who keeps the activate windows. Yeah, I have thought about that too. Well, no, I mean, like, my Windows is an OEM code that's bound to my drive, if that makes sense. Like, it's a new motherboard because I switched out my CPU, so I went from Intel to AMD. And then now, because it's an OEM code that I activated with that new drive, it is locked to that. And even if I do get a reset, it would not read the one code, it would basically be like, this is an invalid code, buy it. And I'd be like, you right, fair enough. But that's kind of why I've been tempted for a while to, I literally have like a 250 SSD upstairs that I could just install Linux onto on this PC and then just try it on and just see if everything works. Because the one upstairs works, but that's they're more of like a media, like theater PC. I have Jellyfin on there, and I run like 2 Discord bots through it that are local hosted, so it just constantly runs. That was my original computer build from like 2014, and it still works great. I did have a little bit of finagling because I used my original GPU in it and it didn't like it. That's because it's a 770 and apparently there's very little support for 770s, which is valid given how old they are. So even Linux had a trouble with it. But yeah, all in all, an option, but one that would definitely take a whole lot of finagling, and I haven't convinced myself enough to do it yet. My current build hasn't had like that many issues, but it has definitely not been a perfect use of Windows either, so we'll get there. Ugh. I know I said like half an hour ago that I should go eat food, and I'm still sitting here talking. This is the problem with me and doing live streams, is I just kind of keep going. Like the Energizer Bunny. Despite being hungry. What's the next music reaction I'll be doing? That Genshin one I mentioned. I forget what the exact song is. Inevitable Conflict. That's what it is. So that's the next song reaction it'll be. And again, that'll probably be tomorrow. So. Yay. Sorry, I'm still fiddling with these lens caps. They've become my fidget toy. So I start to focus on them a little too much now. That's a great one. It is. I won't say too much about it because then it would be the point in watching the video, right? So I got to keep some mystique together for that. How goes it? It goes. It do be going. Oh, I'm still all tense. I know, Unwelcome School got a re. I've seen mention of it in comments, I think. If not, they were just talking about another version of the song. But it's kind of hard to keep track of that stuff unless I'm, like, specifically told. I was gonna say something else. I forgot what it was. Oh, I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna come back. It never did. Oh well. Oh yeah, just the welcome. Yes, then yes, I have heard about it. Just the Welcome School version. Yeah. So we were thinking of the same one. Then yes. Yes, I have. Which game? Yeah, which rhythm game? It's the best Osu song ever. I've seen people play. I've seen people mention that they play it in Osu. I do not play any rhythm games. My screen's kind of visible in the poster. Yeah, that's fine. I was just looking at like that was just uh Gmail. I'm just deleting confirmation emails that I don't need to have there. Not worried about you guys seeing what it is. It's nothing that like pertinent to security or whatever. I'm just kind of clicking around because there's not really. Yeah, just a YouTube screen. I'm seeing what you mean now. It's like right over, like right above the Kubo logo, like right in here. You can kind of see it. I'm gonna just start watching like Not Safe for Work. Just load up the corn hub. Oh, what do you mean you can see it? Reaction vids on Just Animations. Any plans? I've already done that a few times. Are you new here? Done that like, God, I think I've got like close to 10 of those at this point. I have another one coming out in the next 2 days. Yeah, I've done them. I've done them to Arknights stuff before. I mean, like obviously, I'm open to really anything like subject-wise. It's just that's what most people like to see. So the Honkai ones I just stick to because people seem to prefer me do the animation in addition to the music for Honkai stuff. So I just do the animation breakdowns for Honkai songs more often. I've only done like 2 actual Honkai songs. The other ones have been all animation. Just purely. But I've done a few Arknights videos, and the one that's coming out in the next 2 days will be a Honkai one. Ah, you got me. It'll be an Arknights one as well. I do have an idea for a short video essay on an anime that's currently airing, but I'm not entirely sure if I'll be able to get it done by the end of the month. I have to record for another drum cover here I want to get out before the end of the month as well. And I also have another thing, a secret project that I'm working on that I cannot talk too much about because that would ruin the fun. But yeah, like, yeah, it's like everyone's got their own interest of like, so some do like all of the gacha stuff I react on, others not so much. It kind of just depends on the person. But I like doing a little bit of everything. I'm not just interested in one thing. I'm not even interested in the games themselves when it comes to all these gachas, but I love the music in them and the animations are really well done. But as far as the games themselves, I'm not interested at all in ever touching them or playing them. It doesn't interest me. It never has. You'll never catch me playing Genshin or Arknights on a casual day. It's just not a thing for me. I don't think that they shouldn't exist, but they're definitely not something that I would be like, oh yeah, I want to play that. I'm going to turn that on right now. Which throws people off because they think I play it. Even Adam Gubman, the that composer for Arknights, he talked to me the other day and he was sharing some information about another project he's working on, and he under the expectation that I liked to play these games, and I had to clarify to him that I don't play them at all, never have, likely never will. And he was like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, that's fine." I just assumed, and I'm like, "Yeah, most people do." Because I do reactions to them, they assume I'm a gacha like YouTuber in a general sense, but it's like I'm a generalized YouTuber. I don't really have a goal or a specific thing that I want to talk about, but I just like music and I like animation. That is a very broad sentence. But as far as the ones that I've reacted to, I actually don't play them at all. You chat music enjoyer, game ignorer. Yeah, like obviously I pick up on some lore stuff just based on comments. I do read every single comment that goes through, which people doubt me on, but I do. Literally every comment that gets made, I go back and read on a regular basis. I keep up with them very well. I don't like to not uh be aware of things. So like I have picked up some things lore wise, but I don't like actively care either. I'm not gonna turn on the game any day. What games do I play? None right now, actually. So don't have anything. For a while, I was into Overwatch 2. I had a little bit of stint in that. For about a 2 year stint, I loved Rocket League. I've played various Pokemon games through those years, but I'm very casual about it these days. I haven't played a like hardcore story game in God, probably closing in on a decade now. I've watched them played. I just don't like playing them. Like if I'm going to see a story, I'll experience it with somebody else who's playing it, be it my brother and me being sitting right next to him. That's how I experienced the Arkham Asylum games, or a YouTuber who's playing them and I happen to be subscribed to. That's it. Aside from that, I'm not really interested in playing them. I like the stories. The gameplay themselves, I I feel like I have to work to watch a movie. That's just kind of how my brain processes it. Like I'm not against it, but it's definitely not something that I'm 100% like, oh yeah, I want to learn. I need the experience of playing the game. I don't. In order to respect it and understand it, a lot of people say you have to, and I completely disagree. But I'm also mentally ill, so that's probably a factor of that, right? Yeah, like once in a while I'll play a game with some friends, but even that nowadays, I haven't played a game with friends in a couple of years at this point. I think the last one was Rocket League. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. So that I've played as like a group or with a group. I don't have any friends, which isn't exactly a lie. I literally do not have any friends that I play games with at all. Last time I played a game with friends, like IRL friends, I was probably 13. So almost 15 years ago. The last time I hung out with IRL friends, 2018. It's not exactly a thing I do. I'm not against it, but it's also just a lot of effort. Because I don't find games funny. I do. I just, at least as far as playing them, I've never found them too fun in a general sense. Um, I realized after time that I liked the stories they told, but the work in order to get through the stories was more than I cared to put in. So I kind of just more understood my placement in the game world, that I enjoy games, gaming news, gaming uh like paraphernalia, like that sort of thing, but not having to play them. If that makes any sense to anyone else. I like to experience games. I don't like to have to play them to experience them. But that I feel like I could be spending my time better. No, because if I'm not doing game stuff, then I'm just watching YouTube and like anime. So It's like, not really. My time isn't spent any better or worse either way. I just don't have much of a reason or thought behind playing them. They don't really do anything for me, I guess. I'm not a gamer. But I also, it's weird because, like, I literally have a spot out there where I restore old like retro consoles and games. Like, I'll buy broken ones and completely repair them, flip them, because I love that aspect of it. That's fun to me. I like reserving the history in gaming, and I like following the news in gaming and seeing where things are going in that aspect of games. I like the concept, not the execution, if that makes sense. It's a very weird opinion. Not a lot of people understand it because I can't find a good way to word it, and I don't know if I ever will. But I like to see games played. I like to see the stories they have, but I don't like having to work for it. I prefer to just kind of watch somebody else do that part while still getting the experience of watching the story unfold in front of me. I am the little brother sitting next to their big brother going, "Oh, wow, that's cool." That's me. Oh yeah, you gotta resell your DS. Yeah. Oh god, the broken hinges on those suck too. Because in order to get that, there's this stupid coil cable that goes up in those that you have to be super careful about. Because you could break the entirety of that upper screen if you aren't. So be careful when reshelling it. Be very aware of where that ribbon cable goes. Yeah, but that's like also what's weird is I don't like streamers. Like, I don't watch any streamers. You've watched videos on it already? Oh, yep. That's definitely the one to be. Everything else is relatively easy, you know, like obviously all the hard parts are in the south part, but then you get to that hinge. That's the make or break moment. I don't think it's honestly as bad as we make it sound, because like I've worked on a few DSs before. It's just that you have to make sure you get it back in the right place. As long as you're careful and you're not just sitting here slapping things, clipping it all back together willy-nilly, I don't think you'll have an issue. Just pay close attention. That's it. Aside from that, you should be fine. The screen, if you have to remove the screen, is going to be a little bit of a pain too. That's kind of a whole separate argument. The medium of game. Yeah, the medium without the tedium. That's great. That should be on a that's a t-shirt right there. The medium. I like the medium, not the tedium. Well, streamers other except for those where the chat is small cuz when they're way too big. We talked about that earlier in here too, with just the whole like the parasocial relationship that people make. But I also feel like I make the parasocial relationship with everyone else who's in chat. And as healthy as that may not be, or as unhealthy as that may be if I word it properly, that's just that sort of thing. Is I don't like ignoring people. I try my best to answer everyone I can see, and going back to things where I've had conversations in the past and keeping up all lines of conversation. Yeah, and like for sure, Derpy, if you need to spend more days on and you won't have like nothing's gonna hurt it, you know, like put it into a box, keep it safe, pull it out the next day, finish it off if you need to. Don't be worried to stop in the middle. There's nothing time sensitive about it, which is a hard thing for a lot of people, I think, to grasp when they're repairing consoles and stuff like that. People will be like, "Oh, I got to get it done today." It's like, you don't. Literally nothing in there is going to just magically explode. Like, it just, there's also that fear of like, if I walk away, I won't walk back for another year. Been there, done that. I have an NES out there that I finished repairing 2 years ago. Haven't sold it because I haven't listed it. Yeah, just make sure you document things, like, for sure. I would recommend the iFixit repair list. They have an entire website, like sub website specifically for repairs. So their step by steps are pretty detailed on stuff that's like even just a decade old, you know? So anything older than that they usually have pretty solid step by steps on it, albeit kind of depends on you. iFixit is definitely a great option for that. Usually I tend to stick more in the OG retro stuff, so like the original NES, SNES, Genesis, basically everything from like the 80s and 90s. A little bit of the early 2000s. I've done a few GameCubes, done a few Wii's. Those are a pain in the butt. The Wii's suck, dude. They're so small. I've done some N6. I've done like 3 N64s, you know. But as far as like, they can be a little bit specific depending. So like, I don't think the DS is all that bad with it, but some of them have like slightly different lengths of screws, so be careful. Uh, yeah. People are calling for you. All right, see you later, night. But yeah, like be careful, be very attentive, watch for things like that. The little surprises that certain consoles leave you can be a pain in the butt. No, you. No, you have a great day. I mean, hi. See, this is the problem now. I said an hour ago that I should stop streaming because I should go eat something and just be done. We've almost been here now for 4 hours, but every single time I'm about to think about wrapping it up, somebody new comes in. And then I feel bad for leaving them hanging like they just showed up. This happens on Twitch all the time too. It's like, man, I'm just trying to I'm trying too hard to be nice about it. What's my plan for food? I never have a plan for food. But I haven't even done any exercise today, so I'll probably have to do something, but I need to eat first, clearly, because I'm going to have a problem if I don't eat first, so... But I also want to make sure it's not something too heavy at that point, or something too greasy. Literally saw all your videos, source, trust me. No, I'm just talking about new in stream. Like, people popping in here. It's like, oh, yeah, I haven't been in here yet. I didn't know you were streaming. I'm like, oh, cool. Huh? And it's like 7 hours later, I'm sitting here like withering away in my chair. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I know, I can't stop for everyone. It's not like I have to go eat something. I just feel slightly hungry, so I probably should, you know? Listen to your bodies. When you're hungry, eat food. So I think my my actual plan for food will probably end up being like just a cardboard pizza. That it doesn't sound like I'm not gonna eat that before doing the workout stuff. Obviously, I'll probably have something lighter before that, just to keep up my metabolistic structure. But like my actual dinner tonight, I'm not sure, unless my sister has something that she's planning to make and I don't know about, which is possible, because she makes dinner for her and her boyfriend husband. We don't have an official title on that. But yeah, she'll make something for him, and of course, since I live here too, that's just a factor there. She just adds me into the amount she makes. Like, I could definitely make something myself, but she just throws it together anyway. Because he has to have certain dietary needs met because he's wheelchair bound and currently healing from a major surgery. So he's got to have certain amounts of food with certain things in it. When I'm hungry, I don't eat because I don't have food. Ah, yes. Oh look, a breadcrumb. Yummy meal. That ramen noodle every night type beat. It is still weird. I mean, like, I'm glad that things worked out with like how the stream is and everything, and that everyone seems to be liking the vibes here, which is very nice. But I do definitely plan to do more YouTube streams going forward. It was just in purely the reason that it took me so long to get started was the getting started part and having to make the changes and like adjusting accordingly and like updating OBS stuff to work with the new system, which isn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. But I do plan to do more of these. I'll probably start doing them like once or twice a month, just whenever I feel like them. No random, like again, completely random times, random days. I probably won't really announce them too far in advance or when. But I do want to touch on different people. So I'll probably have like one around the same time that I started this one, and then like do another one on the opposite schedule and do that for a few hours. So I can get as many people around as I can. So we can all chill and have vibes. Because chill streams are just kind of the way I've always done streams. I don't like to do things too energetic and like, wow, whoa, let's fucking blow up everything. Let's go. What's my upload speed? What's my bit rate? I think my bit rate was 5K. I could have pushed it to like 6, but I just left it at 5. And my upload speed, I honestly don't think I could tell you. Hold on, let me run the speed test, which isn't perfect. I typed in sped. Speed test. Let me run a speed test. It's been a while. Okay, good. I was making sure I didn't have a VPN turned on because that would have affected it. My download's doing very well today. See what my upload is. Of course, the upload always takes forever to actually like do. I'm not showing my screen right now because it obviously shows where I live, or at least somewhere close enough. Yeah, my upload is only 23 megabytes per second, so not the best. Definitely not the worst though. That will improve once I get the fiber because they're building that in the area. So when they have that, I'll finally have fiber. That's byte. I think it's capital Mbps. That's megabyte. I think. I always get they really should have named those better, or at least made a shortening that wasn't so damn similar. My upload was like closer to 400, but that's because I pay extortionist prices for that in my area. I pay over $100 for internet on a monthly basis because that's just that's America. And there are some places in America where they have like fiber that's 5 times as fast for half the price. It's ridiculous. But we don't have a choice here. Capitalism. That's it. So work with what you got, you know? It does function. It's not like it's a bad thing. At the same time, it would be nice if I didn't have to pay that much. Jesus. It's literally like an eighth or so of what I make per month. Luckily, I don't have to pay for that. That's my sister that pays for that. But still, it's ridiculous how expensive it is. Extremely async. Oof, yeah. That's that's something that I'm glad more companies are coming into my area for, and like the one specifically that is bringing fiber is a newer company, and they aren't owned by an umbrella, so they're offering basically like double speed for half the price compared to what the current company I've got. I'm yawning now. I'm starting to get to that point where my brain has given up on socializing. That's 4 times expense. Effective. Yes, true. I don't think it's exactly 2 times, but it's close. It's like 1.5. And again, I would rather take that for roughly the same price. I get a significant performance boost and fiber, like underground fiber, and not overground, like above ground wires and cable, which in a place that is known for thunderstorms, extreme weather conditions, uh, tornadoes, it's very nice to have that security. It's like, oh, you're putting it underground. That makes more sense. So again, they're still building it in the area. I don't think I'll even have it available until end of year or like early next year. But I'm still excited about it because it's on its way regardless. Yay. All in all, though. Yeah, with hurricanes, yep. That's... I don't love it here. We do get coaxial here. It's decent. Yeah, that's... We have coaxial now. Like that's what we call cable, I guess. But it's decent enough, but you start to get to the extreme edges of weather, and the performance of it is just older and weaker, where fiber is way more reliable. And that it just makes more sense to do fiber. It can be better shielded, better protected, and way less available to the elements. So it's definitely a better choice. So we're excited about having it in the area. And I'm excited to have it as an option. I'm yawning again. There we go. Another yawn. I should probably end stream, though. If I'm starting to yawn like this, that means my brain is given out on the whole socializing concept. So I think I will just call it. I'm going to go eat food, rest, do a little bit of exercise, and get my body a little bit of reprieve before editing and then going to bed again. So it's nice to get this stream done. Now that I have all this set up to do so, I don't have to stress about doing it again. The first time is always the most scary. So, yay. And with that, I guess that'll be the end of the stream. So thank you all very much for stopping on by and hanging out with me for 4 hours. Jesus. And yeah, I'll see you whenever I do another one of these. Goodbye, everybody.